and the numbers don't make sense, that raises suspicion and it merits more inquiry. And that's what you're getting. This isn't necessarily going to move to impeachment. And in point of fact, the Wall Street Journal editorial board opines, short of proof that Mr. Biden personally received checks from foreigners, there's no chance the Senate would convict the president even if the House impeaches him. In the meantime, the Democrats will argue Republicans are focusing on impeachment rather than on policies that will make life better for voters. Yeah, well, we tried that in 2020 with Trump. And I know there's other variables like COVID because elections are also always multivariate equations. But despite two wasting your time with impeachments rather than focusing on policies that will make life better for voters, two of those in advance of 2020 and in advance of 2022, voters didn't hold the Democrats responsible, did they?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
They didn't rebuke the Democrats for the phone call, which looks more and more absurd with each dollar we send over to Zelensky, or obviously January 6th, where you have the president's own words essentially exonerating him of the accusations that provided the foundation for the arguments that were made in advance of that second impeachment gambit by the Democrats. Nancy Mace, who's a sort of a soft Republican from South Carolina, she was on with that Klingon on CNN, Caitlin Collins. Doesn't she look like a Klingon?
You know,
she's very mannish.
She reminds me of Dylan Mulvaney a little bit. And
yeah, no, it's a compliment.
She kind of they have the same bone structure.
Well, Nancy Mace was on with this Klingon, and of course, being pressed. Is it this political? Is it retribution? This is what the press is already doing. You have no evidence. Just what you heard from the spokeshuman for the White House. Of course,
it's
DC
the MAGA Republicans that are pushing this.
The DC press corps is just going to rinse and repeat it because that's what they do. But here's Nancy Mace. She's on House Oversight, the committee that Jim Comer chairs. Remember, this is going to be the impeachment inquiry is going to be a joint venture between Comer on Oversight, Jordan on Judiciary, and Jason Smith on Ways and Means. Here's Nancy Mace.
You support launching an impeachment inquiry into President Biden?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say at this point. I think there's a difference between an impeachment vote and an inquiry. The inquiry would give us another tool in the toolbox specifically to look at Joe Biden's bank records. Everyone's screaming about the evidence. Where's the evidence? The bank records hold all of the evidence. And if the American people, Caitlin, if you could see the suspicious activity reports that I have seen on the Biden family, you would probably support an impeachment inquiry just as a tool to get more information on specifically the bank information, bank records of Joe Biden and his family members. That's an important tool in our toolbox.
So does that mean you do support an
I'll support an impeachment inquiry. Impeachment vote is totally separate, but an inquiry I would support at this juncture.
Scott Perry, chairman of the House Freedom Caucus, Republican from Pennsylvania, he held a post-announcement presser and got into it with a reporter that, dutifully said, there's no evidence, this is just political retribution.
What actual evidence do you have as opposed to allegations to show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden and prove that today isn't just about some of you...
Oh, I don't know.
McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge.
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. That's not normal to have 20 shell companies. These things are not normal, and it alludes to not only just widespread corruption, but money laundering, if not influence peddling itself. And we also have the vice president at the time on record saying that the prosecutor was fired. Well, son of a bitch. The prosecutor was fired, right? Because the prosecutor was going after the company that his son was working on. That's what we have. If you can't see that, if you are that blind, look, I'll turn it over to the attorneys.
People can't see that. They think it's political revenge.
It's because you don't report on it.
Oh, and then she said, well, we will now get a spot of tea.
Okay, sure. Hey, look, even if it doesn't reach an impeachment vote, although, boy, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence that it should, documenting this in detail, documenting this obvious influence peddling operation, this, again, inconsistent positions of Joe Biden on what he knew about what Hunter Biden was doing, who he was speaking with, where the money was going. Detailing all of this is a worthwhile exercise.
And now they can obtain bank records and other documents from the president and his son to start this inquiry. I think it's brilliant. I just wonder why it took so long.
Coming up at 5:38, our friends Glenn Lowry and John McWhorter, they do a podcast together. It's very high level because they're very smart guys. They tackled the silly kids of Chicago.
Oh.
5:38.
And later, Senator Kennedy scolds and just owns our Secretary of State, Allie G. will explain. But now let's head into that newsroom. Here's Mike Scott. Mike Scott, what does your baseball cap say? You rarely wear a baseball cap.
Bradley University, where the son of our former general manager, Jeff Reisman, attended.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Emily
Percy
visited.
Hawkins was Jeff
Percy
Reisman's son.
Hawkins. Yeah. Percy
I
Hawkins.
didn't know that.
Wow. Revelation this morning here on AM 560. Investigation to follow. 55 degrees at 5:31. A fallen Chicago fire lieutenant to be laid to rest today. The funeral for Lieutenant Kevin Ward will be held at 4th Presbyterian Church here in Chicago. Ward is the third member of the department to die in the line of duty today. The White House is slamming Speaker Kevin McCarthy's decision to open formal impeachment inquiries into the president. In a social media post, White House spokesman Ian Sams called it extreme politics of the worst kind, while House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is backing the impeachment inquiry into President Biden.
This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin are deepening ties and possibly working on a deal to supply Moscow with weapons for its war in Ukraine. The two leaders met earlier today at a spaceport in Russia's Far East. It's a rare trip outside of North Korea for Kim. Putin saying the meeting was held at the spaceport because Kim is showing interest in rocket technology needed by North Korea. The trial for two former DCFS workers accused of child endangerment enters its second day Tuesday. The bench trial began Monday with prosecution calling witnesses. One of the measures Governor J.B. Pritzker implemented to try and shore up Illinois taxpayer liability for non-citizen health care is now on hold. During yesterday's Joint Committee on Administrative Rules hearing Tuesday, staff attorneys told lawmakers co-pays for hospital visits will be on hold as they try to refine rules to get more federal tax dollars to help with the $550 million cost. Libraries in Chicago and surrounding suburbs were closed Tuesday for a time after receiving bomb threats. Anonymous emails were received at places like the Harold Washington Library, and other threats were received in suburbs like Addison, Aurora, Evanston, and Oak Park. The reports were unfounded. No claims of responsibility have been confirmed. Similar threats in several states over the recent years have been found to be planted calls by some left-leaning activists. City of Chicago is facing a large budget shortfall in 2024. The Sun-Times says the city's budget gap projected to be $538 million next year. DePaul and athletic director Dwayne Peavy have agreed to a contract extension through June of 2027, the school announcing late Tuesday. Peavy was hired in August of 2020 after a career at the University of Kentucky. The extension comes after the school recently announced plans for an on-campus basketball practice facility with the hopes that it will lift the men's program out of the bottom of the Big East and help its women's team stay in the top 25. Cubs gave up a pair of late runs in a 6-4 loss to the Rockies at Coors Field, while the White Sox split a doubleheader with the Royals. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers out for the season. New York confirming Rodgers suffered a torn left Achilles tendon during Monday Night Football. The News Service of Health Insurance Mentors Are you 65 or older and thinking about Medicare? Medicare, done correctly, will be the best health insurance you ever have. Call Stephen Tucker today for free Medicare advice. HealthInsuranceMentors.com, 630-674-1551. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Building owners, property managers, and chief engineers. This one's for you.
Hello, this is Bruce Diedrich with Waukegan Roofing, your professional roofer. Everything starts on top. Your investment, your building, and everything in it is protected by your roof. It needs to be in good shape. That's where we can help. If it needs to be repaired or replaced, or you think it might, call us. Let's find out. Here's the number.
847-623-1625.
At Waukegan Roofing, our employees are union-trained roofing professionals with OSHA safety training certifications and have thorough knowledge and expertise regarding the various roofing systems we sell, maintain, and install. We know commercial roofing systems because that's all we do. Over 110 years of doing commercial roofs. Waukegan Roofing has the slogan,
Roofs you can rely on.
because you can. Here's the number to call
847-623-1625.
and get the info at waukeganroofing.com. waukeganroofing.com.
The Daily Herald 2022 Best of the Fox winner for Best Financial Planner is Total Clarity Wealth Management. The 2022 Reader's Choice Award winner for Best Wealth Management Firm and Best Financial Planner is Total Clarity Wealth Management. Are you ready for a change? Choose Total Clarity Wealth Management. With a professional team of financial advisors and CPAs, they can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Their philosophy is built on solid relationships and trust, with access to expertise in tax planning strategies, 401k rollover services, estate planning, and more. They can help you be ready for anything.
Hi, this is Terry Murphy. The cornerstone of our practice has been to help clients stay focused on their goals throughout life's changes.
Get in touch with them at TotalClarityWealth.com. That's TotalClarityWealth.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial. Awards are based on number of reader votes. This award is not representative of the views of clients and is not indicative of future performance or services.
Owning an aircraft doesn't need to be a hassle. Turn to Pearl Master Aviation, a premier aviation company owned and operated by Bob Allegra, a leader in the industry with over 50 years of experience. Pearl Master Aviation believes that safety, quality, and reliability come first. They have the capability to offer you or your company a wide range of services, such as aircraft management, charter services, maintenance, cruise, and support. If you're looking to acquire an aircraft, they can negotiate the best deal for you, new or used. If you're looking to sell, they can get you top dollar. Pearl Master Aviation takes pride in the ability to deliver expert solutions that optimize efficiency, minimize costs, and guarantee your satisfaction. Providing care and maintenance in state-of-the-art facilities ensure the best possible service. For both personal and corporate aircraft, call Bob Allegra at 630-999-1600 or go to pearlmasteraviation.com.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka wants to know who these people are.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
5:39. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time is a service of the Pride stores with 17 locations throughout Chicagoland. Stop by their newest location, the Pride of Kane County, St. Charles, Kirk, Maine. Stop by there for weekly grand opening specials and exciting raffles. Pride stores, not your typical convenience store. Channahon residents, look out. US 6 this morning between Youngs Road and McClintock is shut down in both directions for an ongoing accident investigation. Pretty busy roadway, shut down for the foreseeable future. We'll keep our eyes on that. Reagan Memorial already jamming up eastbound Roosevelt into the tri-state. Bishop Ford, brake lights 115th into the Ryan merge. The Ryan itself, 14, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. And the Kennedy now already 30 minutes, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sun. Shower hangs around into the early afternoon, a high of 68. Actually saw lightning this morning over Lake Michigan, 55 right now. Next news coming up at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Saturday mornings at 11. Visit healthquestradio.com.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I saw that Arturo's Tacos in Bucktown got hit. A bunch of robberies, smoke shops, dispensaries.
Liquor stores, bars, yeah.
Can't
These
focus.
People are relentless.
Can't really focus on actual crimes. We're too busy focusing on hate incidents. Alderhuman Deborah Silverstein introduced an ordinance to create a category of non-criminal hate incident. Which Chicagoans can report a hate incident. Not necessarily doesn't rise to the criminal level. You can call 311 or use the 311 non-emergency app to report a hate incident.
What's the definition of a hate incident? And is this a misdemeanor? Is there a civil penalty?
A less serious incident.
Okay.
There are definitely incidents that are happening. We need to make sure we're tracking them, said Alderhuman Deborah Silverstein.
Oh, so someone who has a MAGA hat on walking down the street, because, you know, it is north of MAGA country, just up the Lakeshore Drive there. Would that be considered a hate incident?
It's the eye of the beholder. Incidents are precursors to crimes. Pre-crime.
Oh.
Like Minority Report.
Yeah. Get your pre-crime.
We're going to be tracking them and monitoring if they're in specific locations. And if they are, we need to take steps to see where they're coming from, do more research into what's happening, and try to get things under control before it turns into a crime.
Oh, sounds like Big Brother.
What does that even mean? We need to take steps to see where they're coming from, do more research,
And who's
then
we?
try to prevent them. The ordinance defines a hate incident as, quote, a non-criminal hostile expression or action that may be motivated by bias against another person's actual or perceived identity or status, including but not limited to actual or perceived race, actual perceived race, actual perceived color, actual perceived sex, actual or perceived gender identity, actual or perceived age, actual or perceived religion, actual or perceived disability, actual or perceived national origin, actual or perceived ancestry, actual or perceived sexual orientation, actual and perceived carbon-based life form, actual or perceived shape.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. You could also reach us all morning long on our text line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
All right,
That's just, so what else should we add to the list?
That's where I think it's pretty exhaustive.
Actual.
This is where the focus is by your alderhumans. Because you don't want to focus on the silly kids holding up Arturo's Tacos in Bucktown at gunpoint. And to the extent you do, they have the ready-made answers you've heard from BLM Brandon. Just the latest iteration. You've been hearing them for 50 years. Jesse Jackson Sr. on down to present. And this was the topic of discussion in a recent podcast between Glenn Lowry, who's an econ professor at Brown University. We've had on the show. He's part of Bob Woodson's group, too, that's working to advance that 1776 curriculum in the schools with Ian Rowe, people like John McWhorter as well, who's a linguistics professor at Columbia. These are pretty smart gentlemen. We've had them both on the show. They're often criticized because they're black conservatives. McWhorter still, I think, identifies as a Democrat, but he's a pretty conservative one. And regardless of his partisan affiliation, he is not down with the race hustle. Not down with it. So they took up this notion that is being bandied about right now, perhaps more frequently than ever. Just need jobs. What's happening in Chicago with respect to violent crime, it's just a lack of economic opportunity. This is why BLM Brandon wants to move from, summer make-work jobs to year-round make-work jobs.
He campaigned on that.
Yes, he did. Well, first, let's get to the characterization. Don't demonize the Utes. Don't demonize them. Kids make silly decisions. Don't be using phrases like mob action when there is mob violence.
And I want to remind people, 2 teens were shot when he talked about, it's just kids acting silly. And then a couple from North Carolina, a young couple, was staying in an Airbnb, was mugged. So they're just being silly, though.
So here's Lowry and McWhorter on the terminology.
Response was appropriate. Mayor Johnson says there's no opportunity for these kids in the neighborhoods. In fact, I think I quote him in saying they come from neighborhoods that have been robbed of opportunity. So they're victims of the unfairness of the structures of economic and social life in Chicago. And yet they're ransacking a 7-Eleven. They're turning over cars, setting police cars on fire, assaulting people, and so on. And they are not a healthy thing for the city, not at all, in my opinion. And yes, I think, it's appropriate for law enforcement to react to them in a vigorous way. That would have been my view.
The idea that what people like that are doing is a response to contracted job opportunities is swill, utter swill. It's street theater, it's performance art, and he ought to be ashamed. He ought to be ashamed of himself. And frankly, I would love to see one of those young men taken aside and asked, why did you do that? I'll bet a vanishingly small number of them would say, I ain't got no job. There are no jobs in my neighborhood. There's nowhere for me to go but down. None of them would say that. You'd get rather incoherent answers that what really came down to, basically, this is what me and my guys do. Everybody else is doing it. That's what the generation before me was doing. I guess they wouldn't say that. But it would not be, we're doing this out of frustration because we can't find a job. That's not what those people say, because that's not what motivates them. And the sad thing is that figuring out what does motivate them and figuring out what to do about it, it's a challenge, because human behavior is not as simple as people like to think when it comes specifically to Black people. And I'm angrier than you are, Glenn, about this idea that you can't call it mob action. Because, frankly, this issue with labels is a very easy thing to say, make headlines about, rather than thinking about the real nature of the problems. And it was mob action. I mean, just to see some of the videos of these sorts of things going on. And, there's a sense I have that these things are done almost exclusively by Black young men, not even Latino young men, as much as Black young men. You do not see a bunch of poor Asian kids doing it. You do not see even lower class white kids doing it. It's a Black thing to join up in a gang like that and to tear everything up for no particular reason. We need to get to the bottom of it, and it's not because they can't get a job. That's a very 1968 root causes kind of explanation that makes a certain kind of person feel good to mouth, but it's inhuman because it's basically leaving those people to their own fate rather than thinking about how we could really make life better. They could get a job. It's not what it is. It all sounds like he's been watching Good Times or something. I'm very disappointed in that.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. That was pretty high octane from Professor McWhorter, wasn't it? Real talk.
I love when he said, I'd love to pull one of them aside and ask, why'd you do that? Because that is so true. Don't you want to do that all the time? What is going on? Just talk to me. Fill us in.
Well, McWhorter goes on to, build off that Good Times reference that the tendency to compress time for the purposes of continuing to support the throwaway lines that are used to explain what's happening, except they don't provide much explanation. And they certainly don't give much direction. Yeah. Compressing time. Right? We're still suffering from the ravages of slavery, like slavery was yesterday.
It's not entirely crazy, is it?
The young man doesn't remember 1951, for one thing. We're not talking about the first generation who watched Dad lose his job. That's what I mean by Good Times. It all sounds like when people first started making these arguments. This guy doesn't know what a lunchbox is. And so really we're dealing with something more insidious. But even let's contract time, because we Black people apparently, we don't have real time. We are slaves. Slaves are us, beloved. We're always dealing with memory. Our grandfathers were lynched, and so we're being lynched. So let's contract time. Let's say that the lunchboxes were 20 years ago. So Dad lost his job at the tire stamping plant. And since then, he's been kind of having to hustle, and he doesn't really have the money that he used to. And so, it's kind of sad watching Dad like that. And I'm seeing that I'm not going to be able to get a job in a tire stamping factory. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go downtown and start turning over cars. No, it doesn't make any kind of human sense. And what we're trying not to think about is, why is it that in communities like that, deviance has been defined so far downward in terms of violence and destruction? Why? And it isn't because Dad can't go to work with his lunchbox. That doesn't make any normal human psychological sense. Why the violence? Why the casualness about destruction? But the question is why? Where did that start? And that's why I say that we have to talk about culture. And yes, culture. Why did the culture change in such a way that our young man now thinks of it as normal to go downtown and break windows, when frankly, he's not an especially frustrated person. He may have a job, and the reason he's doing it is not because he feels like employment opportunities are contracted. There's a meme. What created that meme? And I think it was a whole cultural mood where you were trained to think about society owing you something rather than making the best of the worst. And maybe people had to make the best of the worst too much, especially in the old days. Maybe there's something to the hard leftist view permeating communities. But when that means that you're downtown turning over a car, and then you have some person with a PhD lovingly saying that you're doing it because you can't find a job, something's wrong. I don't think people are really feeling for those men.
Right. That's a conversation. Certainly that's a conversation starter. But it's one that we've decided in Chicago we're not adult enough to handle. And you know how I know that? Because you have people in the city council like Alderhuman Deborah Silverstein introducing ordinances to monitor hate incidents as pre-crime to prevent hate crime while the city burns. That's how I know we're not ready for the kind of conversation that McWhorter and Lowry had.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Tony Dreyfus, founder and president of Metropolis Coffee Company and a proud new customer of Signature Bank. We're a 19-year-old specialty coffee roaster located in the heart of Chicago. Some of your favorite restaurants and cafes serve our coffee. As a small business manufacturer, we understand the importance of working with the right bank, and that's why we made the move to Signature Bank. We were tired of the impersonal service that our large bank had provided. A friend referred us to Signature Bank, and their team was on site to understand our operations firsthand. They provided us the working capital to continue our successful business operations and to fuel our ambitions for innovation and growth. We now have the flexibility to grow at our own pace. That personal touch, you can't find that at a large bank, but we found it at Signature, and we can't thank them enough.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality. Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Does your business have a problem that needs fixing? Whether you need to change your financial picture, strengthen your leadership team, or help with IT management, Turnkey has solutions. Make Turnkey your small business partner and get ready to streamline success. Inflation and economic downturn don't have to impact your business with the right partner. Now until September 30th, Turnkey is offering the first and last month of services at no cost. That's right. Sign on with Turnkey for any of their IT or business solutions, and your first and last months are free. You'll save hundreds or even thousands. With decades of C-suite experience from their consulting team to over 25 years of managed IT services, Turnkey knows small business. They know how to reduce your costs, grow new revenue streams, and more without having to hire on-site professionals. There's still time to make an impact in the second half of the year. Let Turnkey show you how. Turnkey is Chicago's small business champion. Visit turnkey.pro and start a conversation today.
That's turnkey.pro. Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I've been taking this now for about 4 months, and I'm noticing a difference in my energy, and I am 89 years old. My mind is clear. I'm doing great. I'm really for this product.
I'm 76. I'm really a believer. In fact, I even have one of my doctors taking them now. I told him, I said, the difference in my energy after taking them 2 weeks was miraculous. And I sleep better. I'm really pleased.
Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-2468-751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up at 6:06, we need to update some of the stories that we've covered. We follow the suburban communities in which you live, so you don't have to, since most people don't, as well as the schools, too. You've got a story out of Rolling Meadows.
Yes.
As I understand it. And we need to update the story out of Loyola Academy, the Wilmette. There's a couple of Wilmette stories because they're at war with Evanston. And
how's that war going?
Well, they're afraid that they're going to be flanked by barbarian hordes from Mount Carmel and St. Rita.
Right.
And so it's a complicated geopolitical situation in Wilmette. And then, of course, Highland Park is still reeling from the trauma of having their poverty simulation canceled, or deciding to cancel their poverty simulation because people made fun of them.
Well, and they said, though, if you read the email, that they're going to reschedule the event. So I can't wait to see where it's going to be hosted, because before it was going to be at the Highland Park Country Club, don't you know? So, yeah, we'll update you on that as well, because that story made national attention, as it should have. But now let's head into the newsroom for news here at home and around the world. Here's the one and only Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
We're good. And in fact, we learned the Highland Park Country Club is actually owned by the city of
Highland
it is?
Park.
I
It's
do
Park
believe.
District?
I believe it's a Park District.
Park District.
But back in the day, though, it was...
It may have been, yeah.
Private club,
or at least the portion surrounding that was going to be used by that event was.
Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe Shore Acres will open their doors.
Whatever
That's a
happened
good
to
place.
Homeland
If you do a poverty simulation, you want to do it with a nice lake view.
There you go. There you go.
Chicago
Fire Lieutenant funeral today. We'll be following the story of Lieutenant Kevin Ward today. Smollett lawyers appeal his conviction. Chicago faces a budget gap. We'll give you the number. Police investigating bomb threats called into libraries. An Oak Forest man is killed in an industrial accident. Cubs falter late against the Rockies, while the White Sox get a split with KC. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
A summit in Siberia. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Russia's president
hosting North Korea's leader at a remote spaceport.
Kim Jong-un giving his full and unconditional support to Vladimir Putin, seemingly referring to the invasion of Ukraine. It's thought Kim's offering more than encouragement. The Russian leader reportedly wants weapons. President Putin says he'll help the North Koreans build and launch satellites.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now, just ahead of Kim's meeting with Putin, North Korea test launched 2 more missiles amid an ongoing nuclear sanctions standoff. In Libya's flooding disaster, it's up to 5,000 people feared dead after dams collapsed and neighborhoods were washed away. Thousands more are missing or homeless now. Democrats in Congress are dismissing as illegitimate the impeachment inquiry House Speaker Kevin McCarthy told House committees to open as Republicans keep investigating President Biden and his involvement in his son Hunter's business dealings overseas.
These are allegations of abuse of power, obstruction, and corruption.
But a White House spokesman Ian Sams tells MSNBC
there is no evidence of wrongdoing by President Biden because President Biden didn't do anything wrong. And the purpose of what they're doing is a politically motivated, far-right, extreme series of attacks.
There's a new COVID controversy. A CIA whistleblower alleges researchers probing the virus's origins were offered significant monetary incentives to change their conclusion that COVID leaked from a Chinese lab to unknown origin. House COVID Subcommittee Chairman Brad Wenstrup, a Republican, tells Fox he's
seeking documents and all the communications that took place amongst this team and outside of this team. Look, I have a good relationship with the director of the CIA. Hopefully, they're going to be very cooperative. They have expressed extreme concern.
The CDC's endorsed a new COVID vaccine booster for Americans aged 6 months and older after a recent rise in COVID hospitalizations and deaths. Moderna and Pfizer will make those shots available this week. America's listening to Fox News.
55 degrees, 602 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A fallen Chicago fire lieutenant will be laid to rest today. The funeral for Kevin Ward will be held at the 4th Presbyterian Church in Chicago. Ward died late last month from injuries suffered when he became trapped in the basement of a home. Ward is the 3rd member of the department to die in the line of duty this year. An Illinois appeals court is hearing arguments by attorneys for Jussie Smollett. Lawyers for the actor are requesting that his conviction for lying to police about being the victim of a 2019 phony racist and homophobic attack in Chicago be dismissed. The city of Chicago is facing a huge budget shortfall in 2024. The reports say the city's budget gap is projected at $538 million next year, $200 million, according to the mayor's office, tied to the migrant crisis. Bail denied for a Chicago man accused of trying to drown his 2-year-old son in a bathtub. Jeremiah Campbell is charged with attempted murder and violating an order of protection connected to a 2021 case. It was a Lyft driver who gave Campbell and his son a ride home who tipped police to the possible attempted abuse. Democrat Party officials from around the country got a sneak peek at sites that will host the Democrat National Convention next year. Delegates paid a visit yesterday to the United Center, where they plan to nominate President Joe Biden next August for re-election. Cubs gave up a pair of late runs during a 6-4 loss to the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field. White Sox split a doubleheader with the Royals, taking Game 1 over KC 6-2, falling in Game 2 11-10. The news service of Wilkins Hyundai and Mazda in Elmhurst. Experience the next level of excellence at Wilkins Hyundai and Mazda, just minutes from Oak Brook downtown in Schaumburg in Elmhurst. View new and pre-owned inventory online at wilkinscars.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk sees big changes to once great institutions.
The ACLU, the SPLC, the ADL, these are formerly civil rights groups. These are groups that used to fight for decency and goodness and free speech. And they don't believe in any of that stuff anymore. No, it's all about waging war on, quote-unquote, the neo-fascist right.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, I've told you about how Relief Factor helped me with my aches and pains.
Let me tell you about Haven in Texas. Haven writes, I'm taking Relief Factor from my shoulder and lower back, and it works. No more pain. My husband started taking Relief Factor for his upper back and hip and didn't think it was working until he ran out and realized the pain was coming back. Relief Factor just works. We are so happy it's working for you and your husband like it does for thousands of others across America. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free solution developed by doctors to help your body attack the underlying inflammation causing pain. What activity would you like to be doing again? Your first step to becoming pain-free could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
Imagine you're on the couch in your living room and one of your kids or grandkids excitedly pulls on your arm, urging you to come play. But instead of feeling exhausted, you practically jump off the couch. To make sure you're keeping up with them, it's crucial to fuel your body with whole fruits and vegetables. Unfortunately, most people don't get enough of these nutritious foods. That's where Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies can help. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies provides your body with the additional nutrition it needs, helping you to embrace all of life's greatest moments with energy. Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month! Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
6:07. Let's get an update on the roads. In our Team Hochberg Traffic Center, we'll start on the Edens, where it's 18 minutes, Lake Cook Road to the junction. The Kennedy inbound, 29 minutes, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. While the Ike this morning is at 32, 390 to the old post office. Stevenson, 31 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Periods of clouds and sunshine, a shower into early afternoon. Our high today 68. Clearing tonight, low 54. And then sunny, very nice day tomorrow, the high 71. Sunshine on Friday, the high 77. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
55 O'Hare, 62 Lakefront, 54 Midway, 47 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Scott Tucker Solutions and his show Retirement Decoded. Sunday mornings at 8. Learn more at scotttuckersolutions.com.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We've got a lot of North Shore fallout to discuss here. Starting with Highland Park, there was a city council meeting on Monday night. A lot of tears.
And a lot of fear.
This over one of the discussion points, of course, was this poverty simulation that was generously organized by the Alliance for Human Services for Saturday at Highland Park Country Club. That got canceled because some people said mean things online.
Seriously?
A frenzy of negative social media comments caused Highland Park officials to cancel. As I said, why you cancel it?
That's when you invite?
Somebody made fun of you, appropriately so. 3 women shared their views with more than 40 people. Wow. During public comment. You know, Highland Park, I like to think of the way that Ravi Bashwal thinks of it at ABC7.
What?
It's a community of 30,000 friends.
That's what he You said that on the air?
Oh, yeah. Community of 30,000 friends.
Friends.
That's not been my experience in Highland Park. It's not what I understand Highland Park is actually like from friends who are Highland Park residents. But okay, we'll go with it. We've arrived at the intersection of poverty, racism, and violence with devastating results. And instead of supporting our leaders, dear leaders, who've decided it's time to address these issues, some of my neighbors just want to argue over optics, said Ashby Beasley, who I don't know if that's a woman or a man. Probably Ashby doesn't know either.
Well, what are the pronouns? Just kidding.
I
hate that stuff.
We've arrived at the intersection of poverty, racism, and violence, and these leaders put together a simulation so that we could experience what that intersection feels like for 2 hours.
Come and be poor. Actually, it was 2.5 hours, Dan.
Well, but there were light refreshments beforehand.
Oh, that's right. A small chat.
You have to ease into it.
Right.
And there's the orientation.
And we were going to send our friend Kathleen from
everybody
the South Side.
themselves.
She was going to go to that poverty summit.
Yeah.
As a reporter.
I think I mentioned Shore Acres as a possible alternative venue. I think that's technically Lake Bluff. I assume you want to keep it in Highland Park. I would suggest Bobolink or Old Elm, but there's a little problem.
Oh, because women aren't allowed? And women are poor too, Dan. I think that's being biased.
Yeah.
And I don't feel safe in this space now.
Moraine Township Supervisor Ann Flanagan Bassey. Again, I don't know if that's a man or a woman. Could be. Who knows? She said that Highland Park has some residents who are very wealthy and others who are only slightly wealthy. No, she said, and others who experience poverty.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you've driven around Highland Park, not everyone's rich. That's for sure.
What is rich?
I mean, palatial estates. I don't know. I mean, there's some what I would consider middle income homes in Highland Park. There's apartments in Highland Park. There's condos in Highland Park. There's an array of neighborhoods. But yes, it's mostly the rich people that live there.
Some median home price in Highland Park, $745,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, I know. Look, they know poverty. Okay. That's why they want to simulate it for others who don't feel it. They live closer to the lake.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's why they're having the seminar.
That's not why they're having the seminar.
Doing it for homeless man Mike.
They're having the summit, for the one homeless person in Highland Park that people know. They're doing it
because they're virtual signaling.
Yeah, they're doing it because they're entranced by their navel. That's why they're doing it. Yeah. Anyway, back to Moraine Township Supervisor Ann Flanagan Bassey. Of course, there's 3 names. I don't know if that's a woman or man. I have no idea. So I don't want to prejudge it, because then somebody's going to call 311 and report me to Alderhuman Silverstein for a pre-hate crime. But anyway, Mr., Mrs., she, they, Bassey, I'm saddened by the viral meanness that exploded over the poverty simulation. I remain puzzled. And I remain puzzled that uninterested and unrelated people feel the need to be mean toward well-meaning people trying to learn how to better help their neighbors. Yeah. Learning is a process. How do we help those who are lacking in resources? The unhoused, how do we help them? No idea. I live in Highland Park. I don't have the first clue about how to help them. We need a simulation. What can I do? I don't know. I haven't experienced it. So if you haven't experienced something, you don't know anything about it.
I just wanted them to put on the invitation, like, come hungry to the event. Don't eat breakfast before attending the 9 a.m. to 11:30 session.
These people are so offensive.
Mm-hmm.
They're just reprehensible people. They are barbarians. Viral meanness. Ann Flanagan Bassey, come on this show. You're welcome anytime. The meanness won't be viral. We can have it face to face. You're disgusting. These people are disgusting, and they should be shamed accordingly. There is nothing well-intended about any of this. They're pigs. These are the kind of people that would be characters in an Orwell or Vonnegut novel, and not the heroes. These are not Winston Smiths we're talking about. Well-meaning, sad, and she's sanded by viral meanness. Of course, how could they ever be objects of ridicule? I'm a well-intended person. You know, I consider myself, favorite phrase, I consider myself a good person. Well, I don't consider you a good person. Let's have a discussion. I'll explain to you why I don't. And you can try and explain to me why you are. Bill and Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. I'm really bummed about the fact that they're not going to have this simulation, because I went out and bought cardboard and I bought markers and I even bought plastic to be able to make some nice homeless signs just to show the rich people what those people, you know, how they can sit there and write out what their wishes are and stuff like that. So, you know, hey, I'm out of a job. I need money. God bless you. You know, all the different variations of homeless signs that they put out there on the street.
Yeah, the new one is we're refugees. We need help. And then they bring their babies out that they strap to their bosom.
How are you going to simulate mental illness? How are you going to simulate drug addiction? Were you going to...
What were they going to do? I would love to see the syllabus.
Were they going to do meth?
Yeah.
Bob and Grays Lake.
Yeah, I think they already have mental illness in Highland Park. But
yes,
every time you come up with this story, it reminds me of about 30 years ago on the Oprah Winfrey show. There was a guy from Highland Park. He lived with his parents, and he lived in this big, nice house and stuff. And every morning he would put on his dungiest clothes, and he would go down and stand on a ramp in Chicago and panhandle all day. And he went on the Oprah Winfrey show boasting that he made over $100,000 that year. And somebody called the IRS, and they picked him up right at the show.
Of course they did.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Let me just put an exclamation point on this as we transition to the two-front war that's opened up in Wilmette. You have to shame these people. Their behavior is shameful. They are shameless, and they need to be told as much. Shameful.
This actually could be an episode in Shameless. Honestly.
You don't understand.
They'd be mocking them.
People, again, most people would rather be physically harmed than publicly ridiculed. And the public ridicule here is so well-deserved, it can't be overstated. You want to change the culture? You don't understand why these communities are ruled by these magpies in Highland Park, like in Highland Park? That's why. Because you refuse to call out shameful, insulting, ignorant conduct. Which is a perfect transition to Debbie.
Our
from
girl
Wilmette.
Debbie, yeah. I sent that, and Dan tweeted it out at Dan Proft. You can also follow me at Amy Jacobson. But on your tweet, I sent it out to my St. Rita friends saying, you better be careful when you go to that Loyola game.
So we have the situation where Wilmette is fighting the Evanstonians on their southern front. And now coming up Green Bay Road are the barbarian hordes from St. Rita and Mount Carmel in the event that Loyola Academy has Friday Night Lights football. They put lights up at the stadium. New Trier has lights. so you got to keep up with the Joneses up there.
Well, a lot of high schools have lights.
Debbie from Wilmette went to Wilmette Village Board meeting to protest the notion of lights at Loyola Academy's football field, saying the following.
I don't want to tell you my address. Debbie, that's this. Thank you. I live right across the street from Loyola. Now, two Thursday nights ago, August 24th, there was back to school night. You couldn't even walk down the street. They allowed you to park on the other side of our block. And there were people that were walking their dogs, their kids were out. They almost got killed. And second of all, when they have halftime on Friday nights, where do you think they're going? To the bars. And then they're going to be walking the neighborhoods drunk. I mean, do you guys even care? And then crime's going to come in because when they play St. Rita or Mount Carmel, everybody just comes from everywhere on the south side of Chicago. And there was 4 robberies in our neighborhood. I mean, like, seriously. It's going to make crime up, and it's going to make people not want to buy around here.
Oh, thank goodness she doesn't live in Wrigleyville. Whew.
Dogs and cats living together in Wilmette, the prospect of St. Rita and Mount Carmel caravanning up to Wilmette. By the way, found out about Debbie from a trusted source.
Oh, yeah, what do we know?
That's the crazy woman who's banned from the property. She's stolen food and anything else. She also parked 6 cars for $2,000 per semester. She should be
charges student. Yeah, that's New Trier does that too. If people live around New Trier, they sell their parking spots.
Yeah.
To the kids.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a little bit of. She's apparently a known quantity. So that's Debbie, and this has generated a lot of fun responses. Look, I understand what she's saying. Look, you have those Southsiders come up there. The next thing you know, Myers Tavern is out of tater tots. And then what are you supposed to do? I love my favorite part of that isn't even the St. Rita Mount Carmel stuff, although that's funny. It's the whole like Wilmette red light district going to the bars
and getting drunk at halftime
and
stumbling on the streets and B&Es, breaking and entering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I want to fold in Rolling Meadows here too,
we got to talk about that.
We got a lot of schools and communities. We'll keep you updated on. I'm actually going up to Wilmette on Sunday.
For what?
With John Cass for the New Trier Neighbors event that we're doing, and I don't know. I feel like I'm
pack.
I feel like I'm going into the Donbass region. I don't know if we're going to be safe. But again, keep Loyola and the larger Wilmette community in your thoughts and prayers, won't you? Highland Park, too. James and Westmont, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, my goodness. What was it now? Almost 30 years ago when I was at St. Rita, we went up to Loyola Academy for the track and field event. Oh, you should have saw the chaos that occurred over there when we were there. We just, tore up the place.
Yeah.
Southside bad boy.
It was all tater tots and dab beer at Myers with you, James, and your miscreant friends, I'm sure.
Of course, it was on a Saturday afternoon, and everyone was half asleep, and I think we won. I only remember, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry that we go up there and inconvenience them. I don't know anybody, and I've been to plenty of Friday night games at my, kids, like homecoming at their high school. I don't remember any of us going to the bar getting drunk. That's not on campus. So, so I don't know where all that is coming from, but if you're getting drunk at a high school game, there's something wrong with you to begin with, I think. But anyway,
thanks for the call. I also don't think you're allowed to bring alcohol into the
of course you
stadium
can't.
Or so that.
And is Myers Tavern the closest bar to?
Yeah, it's right there on Lake Street.
I know. I knew Frank Meyer. He was friends with my grandpa. I used to go and have some beverages.
Oh
with
right.
the octogenarians.
Yeah, you're a regular there. You used to talk shop, play. You used to play
Frank
gin in the
Meyer
back.
Was great. I didn't play gin. We just chatted. Him and Grandpa John. We had a blast.
You're like Biden. Every place you're like insinuating yourself into the story.
Ask Frank Meyer's sons. They
I want
know.
get him on the blower.
Get him.
I want to
right
ask him right
now.
now. This is the same Carrie Lake. Who's Amy Jacobson?
That was
we were like sisters.
We weren't sisters, but we were in TV Pro 1 and
Uh-huh.
Film Pro 1, and I have the
Yeah.
reel that I'm going to dub over to prove to you.
Yeah, well, you don't prove it to me. Prove it to Carrie Lake. Didn't know who you were.
Couldn't believe it. What about when Matt Whitaker was on? Did you?
Yeah.
The former AG. He played football in Iowa.
I know. We started tight end for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Go Hawks and all this nonsense. I couldn't even get a question about the law. It's just like you. It's like just plathering on about no, he was fine. Kidding. John in Bridgeport, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Guys, you're missing the point. We got Brother Royce heading up there this Saturday,
Oh, my
number
God.
10 State, to take on number 2 Loyola. And no one wants to talk about that. Olin Kreutz, Mark Carrier, and all those people that work for Loyola, we're coming after you this weekend, so be ready. Dan, come to that game Saturday, will you? Let's go. See you guys later.
This is what they're talking about. Listen to the violence of this
I
call.
don't feel safe. I
Hey,
just don't feel safe.
John,
1:30.
Are you bringing guys from Bridgeport too?
You're damn right I'm going.
Oh, my God.
We better
All
alert
right.
authorities
geez.
right now.
All right. Get Alderman Silverstein on the line. Thanks for the call, John. All right, call 311. Report John in Bridgeport. There's
Oh my
there's
gosh,
a
he sounds
pre-hate
agitated.
incident.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting. Yes,
Yeah.
a pre-hate incident. Yes.
Yeah.
Because of the tone of his voice.
This is exactly what Debbie from Wilmette is talking about.
Wilmette police better be ready to go. Cancel all overtime. We
you
need
have
help.
people, You have people coming from the South Side to root for the high school team their kids play on. Can you imagine? I mean, the insanity of it all.
Evanston police might have to help out at that game. Uh-oh.
I don't think there's collaboration going on right now. I think that's a cold war between Wilmette and
Too soon.
Evanston.
Sorry.
I mean, look, you can't force Howard Jones concerts down the throats of Wilmette residents. They don't like 80s techno pop. The hell's wrong with you? Ian in Glenview.
Yeah, hi, guys. Nice to talk to you again. Nice to hear you all every morning. Just a quick comment about Wilmette. I think it's time that we petition to shut down Ravinia Festival, because if they're concerned about alcohol, the wine and cheese crowd out there probably represents the largest concentration of DUI that you find anywhere in the country on any given day.
Yeah, they're very good, Ian. Not to mention, you get those Chardonnay Antifa chicks in their activewear all hopped up on wine. And you know what happens? A lot of viral meanness. And we can't have that on the North Shore. Brad in Bucktown.
Oh, this is spectacular.
Hey, guys. I graduated in '86 from Evanston. And whenever we went up to Wilmette, and there was New Trier, there was the biggest police presence ever.
Oh.
I mean, it was unbelievable. It was like the mob had come up there. What if it was a basketball game, softball game, baseball game, football? It was just hilarious, and it was great. And then when they would come down to Evanston, not a cop around, because they were too. These guys knew nobody could come around it at all.
Well, yeah, the Visigoths from Evanston going up to Wilmette. I mean,
I'm going to Wilmette today. Uh-oh.
You know what? Wilmette needs to build a wall, I think, to keep Evanstonians out.
I was by the wall. I lived about 4 blocks south of Isabella. So I know all about the wall. So it was pretty funny. All right. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call. I'm surprised they let Lester Crown have a place up there in the North Shore.
Oh, yeah.
He's ETHS grad.
Right.
Yeah. Lester Crown. How about that? John Cusack.
Yeah.
ETHS grad.
I won't tell you my grandparents graduated from ETHS and met, because then you'll say I'm Joe Biden again.
Yeah, exactly. Everything somehow you're insinuating. You're Forrest Gump. Every important historical. It doesn't even have to be important. It's like there's some tangent that incorporates Amy Jacobson.
They met freshman year. That's why
I made out with Jeremy Piven, ETHS grad, right? Not me. I'm saying you.
I did not make out with Jeremy.
All right.
Mario Lopez.
All right. Well, anyway, now we didn't get to Rolling Meadows, but
we have got to get to Rolling
All right.
Meadows.
So we got a caller from Rolling Meadows. So a caller from Rolling Meadows, stay on the line. We got to do the news, and we'll come back and we'll pick up Rolling Meadows.
Yeah, because you want to hear this story for sure. Getting rid of American Night for Ken and Barbie Night. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
55 degrees at 6:31. The White House is slamming Speaker Kevin McCarthy's decision to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Fox's Brooke Sigmund has more from Washington.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announcing a formal impeachment inquiry against Hunter's deals can no longer be ignored. McCarthy says bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to Biden family members and associates through various shell companies around the globe. Now, the Republicans don't yet have exact direct evidence connecting President Biden to those payments, but they have been gathering that evidence showing payments going to multiple Biden family members. Now, McCarthy also says that messages with Hunter Biden and several foreign associates are also another piece of evidence that connect Biden to his son's business dealings.
The White House this morning wants the media to step up scrutiny of House Republicans after the impeachment inquiry was announced. In a letter sent to top media executives today, the White House and President Biden are urging news organizations to call out what it says are lies and misinformation spread by Republicans. A local health official in eastern Libya says the flooding death toll in the city of Derna has risen to 5,100. Moroccan rescue crews have been joined by international crews from Spain, the United Kingdom, and Qatar, who sent emergency responders into the mountains where over 2,400 bodies may remain buried under dust and rubble following an earthquake. Fallen Chicago fire lieutenant will be laid to rest today. The funeral for Lieutenant Kevin Ward will be held at the Fourth Presbyterian Church in Chicago. Ward died late last month from injuries he suffered when he became trapped in the basement of a burning home. Ward is the third member of that department to die in the line of duty this year. Libraries in and around the Chicago and the suburbs were shut down Tuesday for a time after receiving bomb threats. The Harold Washington Library, libraries in the suburbs like Addison, Aurora, Evanston, and Oak Park. Secretary of State Alexis Giannoulias spent the day in Washington at a Senate hearing about the state's first-in-the-nation restrictions against protest against controversial books that the left calls bans.
This legislation is important because both the concept and practice of banning books contradicts the very essence of what our country stands for and what our democracy was founded on.
The reports were unfounded. No claim of responsibility has been confirmed. Similar threats in several states in recent years have reportedly been found to be planted calls made by some left-leaning activists. An Oak Forest man is dead following an industrial accident in South Holland. Authorities say Alexander Cush was helping unload granite slabs Monday at a stone company when a load of slabs shifted. The death was ruled an accident. Cubs gave up a pair of late runs and a 6-4 loss to the Rockies at Coors Field, while the White Sox split their doubleheader with the Royals at guaranteed rate. The news service of the Pride stores with 17 locations throughout Chicagoland. Stop by their newest location, the Pride of Kane County in St. Charles, Kirk and Maine, for weekly grand opening specials and exciting raffles. The Pride store is not your typical convenience store. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains big government.
My old phrase, the bigger the government, the smaller the citizen, is one of the truisms of the human condition. All the genocides of the 20th century, the most genocidal century in human history, were committed by big governments. But there's nothing good about big government.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Well, they dropped it down the stairs and then they tumbled off their truck. But when it fell out in the street, I knew I was out of luck. I got the crash, bang, boom. Should have had it in the Starcase Blue. Yeah. If you don't want to lose it, put yours in the Starcase too.
Yes, Starcase has designed custom reusable shipping cases for everything from irreplaceable trophies to mission-critical scientific equipment. Cases that can take the crash, bang, boom waiting for it when it leaves your dock. Let us build you a case specially designed to protect your stuff. Go to starcase.com or call 800-822-STAR. That's 800-822-7827.
Cardiologists at Oxford University discovered that classical music lowers blood pressure. And September is Classical Music Month. So put on some Mozart or perhaps a little Beethoven. But if classic music isn't your jam, maybe you prefer classic rock like me. I have another suggestion for you. 120 Life, a functional juice drink made with natural ingredients like tart cherries, cranberries, and beetroot. It's what I reach for when the Marxist mafia gets my blood boiling, which is every day. It's delicious, it's easy, it works fast. 120 Life helps lower blood pressure and will help you stay hydrated as well. You can check it out at 120life.com. That's 120life.com. It's a great website for information and helpful resources to help manage high blood pressure. And for your convenience, you can try their 2-week trial pack with money-back guarantee. Use coupon code LIBERTY at checkout for 15% off your order plus free shipping. Try 120 Life today at 120life.com. Tell them Sean Thompson sent you. So whether it's through Music Beats or Beetroot or even Beethoven, it's all about getting your blood pressure under control.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S. Over 15 million this year alone. And many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss, even when you monitor your credit. If your identity is stolen, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Liberty Mutual presents How to Be the Life of the Party.
Okay, first turn the music off. Then ask for everyone's attention. Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some brains inside that face that know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
6:37. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Discover. Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double the cash back you've earned. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match. Eden's inbound 21 Lake Cook Road to the junction. Kennedy 55 minutes from O'Hare to the Burns Circle interchange. 46 minutes on the inbound Ike from 390 to the old post office. Ike outbound, accident blocking 2 left lanes. There's another car on the right shoulder. It's outbound between Cicero and Manheim. Stevenson, about an hour now. We'll call it 56 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And the Ryan at 20 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sun. Watch out for a shower in the early afternoon. 68 for a high, 54 overnight, 55 right now. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Brew some at home today. A family tradition since 1897. Online at papanicholas.com.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Another band that could play at Ryan Field, Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they could open for Howard Jones. All right, we're going to get to Rolling Meadows, but we were talking about Highland Park and Loyola. Before we do, quickly, Nancy in Northbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey guys, did you know that the boys' locker room by the pool at Loyola and maybe all of the bathrooms have feminine product machines in them?
Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because girls can play football at Loyola, too.
Yeah. Right near the swim team. The bathroom right near the
thanks
pool,
for
I
calling
should
it.
say. Yeah. I've had a parent walk in and was so upset, took a picture. Like, are you kidding me that there's tampons in the boys' locker room next to the swimming pool?
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what Brother Rice can do when they come up to Loyola, is they can throw tampons at them. Really mix things up. That'd be kind of fun.
All right, so at your high school, Dan, our high school, I know at Hersey, we had it's called a cheering section, a student cheering section. At Rolling Meadows, it's called the Stampede Club because it's the Rolling Meadow Mustangs. And this Friday,
They're not called the Garoppolos?
no, they should be though, the Jimmy G group. But this Friday, they were supposed to have the American theme where the students would wear red, white, and blue. Well, 2 teachers apparently took offense to that, called it racist, and now it's the Ken and Barbie theme. And so one student, so the general population and the students and football team have gotten wind of it, that American theme wasn't allowed, and some kids started to push back on social media. One of the teachers sent an email saying that if you defy this, you are going directly against teacher directives, principal, and district policy.
So you can dress up, if you're a dude at Rolling Meadows, you can dress up like Barbie, but you can't dress up like Toby Keith.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Sending out more on this email. I want you all to understand as leaders that, in all capitals, this absolutely cannot happen. If it does, there will be immediate consequences. Stampede will be done for the fall, meaning the rest of the football season, and we will not be participating in the homecoming assembly.
Who's that from?
One of the teachers.
Well, how does one of the teachers say Stampede will be done for the fall? That sounds like somebody in a position of authority.
The teacher could be, I don't know, we'll have to ask some of the parents because this has been brewing for a bit. I've been getting emails and comments about this because how can you deem America theme night racist? It's not. Other high schools, too, in District 214 have had American theme night. And they've had, like you just do different themes, like blackout night where everyone wears black or, blue night where everyone wears the colors of the school. And it's absolutely ridiculous.
We have somebody from Rolling Meadows on the line or about this. Caller, go ahead.
Good morning, guys. Love your show. Thank you for shedding light to this crazy issue. So, yeah, basically the leader of the Stampede is actually one of our deans, and she deemed that this was racist and inappropriate to celebrate our country that we live in. So,
what's her name?
Lisa DeRocha. She's the head of the Stampede, so she's also an administrator, but she's the head of this group.
So she has to be the one that wrote this email because she's saying, I'll cancel I mean, they're basically saying, I'll cancel Stampede, so she would be the person in position to do that if nobody stopped her, I suppose.
Either that or she directed them to but yes, she's the leader of this. And it's sad, but the good thing is, and we can all feel happy about this, is the students it's caused quite an uproar. So the emails and texts between students, parents, the Snapchats, all the students are putting this exact text screenshot on their Snapchat and saying USA out, we're doing it. I mean, Hersey just did it last week. My nephew, they played, we know that they did it last week. So basically this is unacceptable.
So what?
You can't celebrate.
So what's going to happen? So this is supposed to happen Friday night?
Well, because of the Jewish holiday, it's actually on Thursday. So it's
okay.
Tomorrow night.
So Thursday.
Yeah,
so
Rolling Meadows
tomorrow.
High School.
So what's going to happen tomorrow?
So the students are going to come in head to toe USA and face the consequences.
So is it going to be kids? Are parents going to show up too?
Yeah, I hope. Yes, we're working on it.
So wait, the parents that are going to show up, are you guys going to all wear red, white, or blue?
We're hoping to. Yes, that's what we're trying to get going.
Well, what is this, Dean? I mean, and how long ago did they deem American Theme Night racist?
It was at a planning meeting at the very beginning of the year. So it was brought up, and let me tell you, this has gone on every year for as many years as I can remember, that all high schools do a red, white, and blue theme for a football game.
Well,
This is, you know,
let me hazard a guess that this isn't an isolated incident. So what else is going on at Rolling Meadows High School, since we're on the topic, when you have people like this Lisa DeRocha in charge?
well, it's funny you say that because we've had kids through the whole pandemic there, and it did get pretty bad with just the brainwashing and the, you know, liberal rhetoric and the forcing their views on kids. But we just had a back to school night, and we were happy that we thought things had calmed down a little bit over there. We weren't seeing that. We weren't hearing the things we were hearing back then. But then this happened, and we thought, well, maybe we need to take a closer look.
Yeah, it turns out that, movement Marxists are going to reveal themselves over and over again. They don't really stop. They may go dormant for a time, but they don't really stop doing what they're in these systems to do they? No.
Which is, no, exactly. And I was laughing so hard when you said picturing all the boys dressed as Barbie. That's
Yeah,
okay, but
right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm certainly, I assume the men on staff will all be dressed like Barbie or Ken. I mean, they're all smooth down there.
Oh, stop, Dan.
Right?
Got a text message. Dan and Amy, my son or my daughter used to go to Rolling Meadows. Comments on Facebook seems to be that they're trying to prevent the theme from becoming a MAGA event. Is there any truth to that?
Oh, right,
Yeah.
because Donald Trump owns the American flag. Because if you're patriotic in any way, then you're a Trumper. Well, you probably are a Trump voter, but it's patriotism that informs your support of Trump. It's not Trump that informs your support of America. They have it reversed as per usual, and that is a bull jive cover story. Sorry. No.
Exactly.
Fish ain't biting. You can not support Donald Trump and still enjoy a red, white, and blue night and celebrate the country and celebrate the freedoms and celebrate the team's high school football, the school's high school football team and so forth. I mean, they are the ones who insinuate Trump into everything, not people that are wanting to do a red, white, and blue night like so many high schools do for so many years, like you're saying, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right,
exactly.
Thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. And the details there, context. Tony in Riverside.
Good morning. I had to laugh because before she even said that the dean was a female, I knew it. My uncle was a farrier, a big, strong guy, worked with horses and stuff. And I can remember when I was very young, probably maybe 10, him making a statement years ago. Women with the right to vote are going to be the demise of this country. And I thought, gosh, that's terrible.
Isn't it?
I kind of think he was right.
Oh, my Tony.
I'm sorry, I'm a woman, I could say it. Some of these women nowadays, they're destroying everything. Everything.
Thanks for the call, Tony.
People like Debbie and Wilmette, maybe?
Tony, really, thank you for the call. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that call.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Many novice gold and silver buyers make fatal mistakes when buying precious metals for the first time. Mistakes made because of dealer gimmicks and scams. Dennis Prager here for AmFed Coin and Bullion. My choice, and it really is, for buying precious metals. Numerous precious metal dealers are capitalizing on the demand for gold by selling inexperienced investors collectible coins with outrageous markups. One company charges as much as $18,000 for collectible coins that are only worth about $5,500 in the open market. It's an example of the honesty of AmFed. Other dealers tell falsehoods about government gold confiscation or regulation of gold prices at AmFed Coin and Bullion to keep things simple and transparent so you'll understand what you own and its true value. If you're thinking of buying or have already purchased and want a second opinion, call Nick Grovich, the man I trust, and his team at AmFed Coin and Bullion, 800-221-7694. Receive a complimentary coin performance review, AmericanFederal.com, AmericanFederal.com.
Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life just to lose weight? NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast as weight loss injections without any of the side effects. Plus, you learn proper portion control and develop healthy eating habits for the rest of your life. By the end of NJ Diet's 40-day program, you will lose 20 to 40 plus pounds, contractually guaranteed. You will lose the weight and keep it off the natural way. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone. Then, NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. Locations locally in Skokie and Oakbrook or available with live online video consultations. Don't take shots the rest of your life. Lose weight quickly the natural way with NJ Diet. Call 855-5-NJ-DIET or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com.
All right, are you tired of the heat and humidity, but more importantly, the musty, damp odor that slaps you in the face when you walk in your front door? Well, the air from your basement or crawl space will permeate up into your living space. Do you know that the air in your home can be up to 5 times more polluted than the air outside? Well, PermaSeal can help with that. Their PermaDry air filtration and dehumidification system can dehumidify and filter all in one unit. Controls humidity and cleans the air. It prevents the increase of mold spores and removes airborne dust particles, allergens, and bacteria. PermaDry does not cost a lot of money to run either. You can save up to $189 a year in electricity costs over store-bought portables. And in the warmer months, dehumidifiers seriously help your AC run more efficiently, which in turn saves you money. Give PermaSeal a call today to schedule your free estimate. 800-421-SEAL, 800-421-7325, or go online to permaseal.net.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having nationwide access with an annual deductible of only $226. There are only 2 good things about aging, wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part, my guidance costs you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor, C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com, is someone I know and trust. He's a 28-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
I look forward to it every morning, taking Balance of Nature. Why? Didn't get enough fruits and veggies on my own, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. There are 31 different whole fruits and vegetables in there, and what they do is they take the fruits and veggies and they're powdered after an advanced vacuum cold process, which stabilizes the maximum nutrient content. And when you give your body the best possible fuel, guess what? You have more energy. You're stronger. You can think more quickly. So feel better and get the nutrition that your body needs. The number to call is 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago. Free shipping and 35% off your first preferred order of fruits and veggies. Or if you want, go online to balanceofnature.com, but be sure to use discount code Chicago.
Former CIA officer and survival expert Jason Hansen here. I teach people how to prepare for the unexpected. Right now, most Americans are not ready for the death of the US dollar. You have money sitting in cash, and if you don't act soon, your financial future could be at risk. I have partnered with Advantage Gold, the #1 rated precious metals company in America, to release my new digital dollar survival kit that's 100% free for everyone who calls today and claims your free survival kit. Simply call 800-900-8000 and give your email address, and I will have this new digital dollar survival kit sent to you immediately. Call 1-800-900-8000 now and claim your free kit, and also mention my name, Jason Hansen, and see how you could also qualify for $1,000 in free silver. Supplies are limited, so call right now before it's too late. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Check with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
I got a picture that Lisa DeRocha, the Associate Principal of Activities and Operations at Rolling Meadows High School.
Yeah, who wants to cancel the American theme night for Ken and Barbie night?
You know what she looks like? She looks like somebody who would enjoy a poverty simulation. That's what she looks like.
She kind of looks like Tony Preckwinkle a little bit, I think, with the picture you showed me.
Yeah, she's sort of got sort of the, she's sort of like a blonde Grady.
Well,
Dan Proft here. Now's the best time to drive home in your next Mazda during the Season of Discovery sales event. You'll get the biggest savings on a new or pre-owned Mazda, and what you see is what you pay. With limited time sales going on right now, there's no better time to buy at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Lease a 2023 Mazda CX-30 for $249 a month, or a 2023 Mazda CX-5 for $399 a month for 36 months with approved credit through Mazda Capital Services for qualified buyers. Just add license, title, tax, and the $324.24 dock fee. Plus, stop in today and ask about the all-new 2024 Mazda CX-90. And to keep your Mazda running great all year round, schedule your next service appointment online at WilkinsMazdaCars.com. Wilkins Mazda, conveniently located in Elmhurst off York Road and 290, just minutes from Oak Brook, downtown, and Schaumburg. Experience the next level of excellence at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Visit WilkinsMazdaCars.com and see dealer for details.
Lots of channels, nothing to watch, especially if you're looking outside of big corporate control. It's time to interrupt your regularly scheduled programs with something worth watching. The new Salem News Channel. Straightforward, unfiltered, in-depth insight and analysis from the greatest collection of conservative minds, all in one place. SNC is home to Dennis Prager, Mike Gallagher, Sebastian Gorka, and more. Watch anytime on any screen. Free 24/7. Find what you're looking for at snc.tv.
Don't defund the police. Hire the police to protect your business. Rising crime has been crippling business owners in Illinois more and more in the past year. Blue Star Security can protect your most valuable asset, your business, to protect both you and your customers. Blue Star Security is the only security company in Chicago with over 500 off-duty police officers, all W-2 employees.
I'm Anthony Barchetto, president of Blue Star Security and a 20-year law enforcement veteran. Our team is exclusively state-certified active and retired law enforcement professionals who provide the highest standards in security. We serve Fortune 500 companies, as well as small businesses and individuals, responding rapidly and seamlessly to each assignment. Blue Star Security's technology allows mobilization of off-duty officers quickly and efficiently. Our primary mission is to provide unparalleled protective services for each assignment with integrity while maintaining our commitment to community service in the Chicagoland area.
Visit online to schedule a free security consultation at BlueStarSecurityLTD.com. That's BlueStarSecurityLTD.com.
Hey there, Charlie Kirk here. You've probably been hearing my colleagues and I talking about investing with Y Refi for a while now. You may have some questions, so let's review. It's true, you can earn up to 10.25% fixed rate of return that's not correlated to the stock market or the Fed. You could turn your income on or off, compound it whatever you choose, and there are absolutely no fees. There's no attack on principal if you ever need your money back, and you'll get your monthly statement with no surprises. Just go to investrefy.com. That's invest the letter Y and then refy.com, or call 888-YREFY24. Folks, this is a solid investment that actually helps people. Just go to investrefy.com or call 888-YREFY24 and tell them that Charlie Kirk sent you. So call 888-YREFY24. Solid investment. It really helps people. Call 888-YREFY24 and tell them that Charlie Kirk sent you.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, a couple more calls on Rolling Meadows. Tony, Southside, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how you doing, Dan and Amy? Listen, I like the comment that Tony made. I'm in academia. I'm a teacher, basically, out there. And I see it for myself. There's this movement, this war against men. These women are destroying everything, women on the left, of course, everything that's associated with the nuclear family, with men and everything. I've gone and I've visited, let me give you an example, a certain school, I'm not going to mention the name, that a female teacher would have on her board, smash the patriarchy. Now, and of course, females are running the school, okay? Right. Now, if you had a man in that would have something like that on his board that had smashed the matriarchy, he'll be out of that job the same day, basically. Yeah. But this is how it is. It's in your face. You know, there are some of the most destructive things walking around in our nation, destroying everything of normalcy, tradition, nuclear family, everything, and it's a war against men. Sorry, Amy, but you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution.
Thanks for the call, Tony. Appreciate it. Well, Amy's part of the solution, but I mean the point is, the awfuls, the angry white leftist females, but also a lot of men that have pea hats on or should. You got to rope them in too. But I agree with you.
And now they're walking around Chicago with cat bags. Okay, we'll talk about that later. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of a pea hat mimbo, Allie G testifies before Congress. 7:07.
Today, clouds with sun and a shower around this afternoon, a high of 68 degrees. It's 7 a.m. WIND, Chicago.
North Korea's leader is going to visit 2 more Russian cities. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Vladimir Putin said that after his summit in Siberia with Kim Jong-un, who's offering full and unconditional support for what he called Russia's sacred fight, likely referencing Putin's war in Ukraine.
The suspicion in the West was that these talks would end with Russia getting hold of North Korean munitions. If that's the case, we probably won't be told about it. What Vladimir Putin did say was that all issues were up for discussion, including economic cooperation and humanitarian aid. The location was also important, a spaceport in Siberia. Putin says he'll help Kim Jong-un develop satellite technology.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Hours before the summit in Russia, North Korea test-launched 2 more missiles. They keep finding bodies in the streets and in mud-caked buildings in Libya in a flash flood disaster that has left more than 5,100 people confirmed dead. Thousands more may have also been killed around the city of Derna. Republicans in Congress want answers from the CIA after a whistleblower alleged researchers were offered significant monetary incentives to change their minds that the virus leaked out of a Chinese lab. House COVID Subcommittee Chair Brad Wenstrup tells Fox.
They have a COVID discovery team that comprised of 7 people. 6 of the 7 people went with the idea that this came from the lab. They lean towards that with some confidence.
Now, there's an update on COVID financial fraud.
A Government Accountability Office report estimates that as much as $135 billion in unemployment insurance benefits may have been fraudulently obtained during the pandemic. The Department of Labor has taken issue with the way the report was done, saying at best it's an estimate of fraud risk rather than actual fraud, and that it's helped law enforcement hold fraud perpetrators accountable.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The CDC is recommending Americans 6 months old and older should get a COVID vaccine booster. Moderna and Pfizer will have those shots available this week. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, I've told you about
55 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Fallen Chicago firefighter Kevin Ward will be laid to rest today. The funeral for Ward will be held at the 4th Presbyterian Church in Chicago. He is the 3rd member of that department to die in the line of duty this year. Trial for 2 former Department of Children and Family Services workers accused of child endangerment enters its 2nd day. The bench trial began Monday with the prosecution calling witnesses. Tuesday, McHenry County State's Attorney Patrick Keneally quizzed retired DCF manager Carol Rizikis over bruises on A.J. Friend that the prosecutor believes should have resulted in Carlos Acosta and Andrew Polovin at least ordering more services for the family.
Anger management, if it means parenting, if it means counseling. In Ms. Cunningham's case, with the mental health issues and stuff, there's many probably professionals that would have been involved.
Acosta attorney Rebecca Lee argued her client had already been disciplined and should not face other discipline. The trial continues later today. An Illinois appeals court is hearing arguments by attorneys for Jussie Smollett. Lawyers for the actor are requesting that his conviction for lying to police about being the victim of a phony racist and homophobic attack in Chicago be dismissed. The city of Chicago is facing a large budget shortfall in 2024. Sun-Times reports the city's budget gap is projected to be about $538 million next year, with the mayor's office saying $200 million of that gap is tied to the illegal immigrant crisis. Cubs gave up a pair of late runs and a 6-4 loss to the Rockies at Coors Field, while the White Sox split a pair with the Royals. The news service of Townstone Financial. Townstone.com has the answers, or call 312-896-2110. Nobody beats their rates. Illinois mortgage licensee 6629, NMLS 136639. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Brandon Tatum has an easy way to deal with looters.
You don't have a right to other people's property, and you don't have a right to take advantage of people in a crisis.
I feel no pity for you. If you loot somebody's store, somebody's house, if they bust a cap in your rear end. I have no pity. I don't feel sorry for you at all. I'm almost to the point where I'm willing to celebrate.
The Officer Tatum Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're leaving Illinois and purchasing a home in the state you're relocating, then you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Selling and packing up your home, buying a new home, and working with a lender you don't know can be extremely stressful, but it doesn't have to be. My loan officers can originate loans in 46 states, and I have relationships with lenders who could help you secure a mortgage in the 4 states we're not licensed. Team Hochberg's originated thousands of mortgages for listeners relocating, and we'd love to help you. Don't be pressured by out-of-state realtors to use their preferred lender. You're purchasing the home, and it's your decision who originates your mortgage. So tell the realtor to relax and that Team Hochberg is originating your loan. If you're relocating and would like to get pre-approved to purchase a home, call Team Hochberg now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. That number again is 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 112-4061.
Now, I've told you about how Relief Factor helped me with my aches and pains. Let me tell you about Haven in Texas. Haven writes, I'm taking Relief Factor from my shoulder and lower back, and it works. No more pain. My husband started taking Relief Factor for his upper back and hip and didn't think it was working until he ran out and realized the pain was coming back. Relief Factor just works. We are so happy it's working for you and your husband like it does for thousands of others across America. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free solution developed by doctors to help your body attack the underlying inflammation causing pain. What activity would you like to be doing again? Your first step to becoming pain-free could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
Hi, this is Randy Donnelly from Donnelly Auctions in Union, Illinois, with my current want list for upcoming auctions. Guns and military items are always at the top of my list, but I have buyers for vintage automobiles and motorcycles, old gas pumps and automotive signs. Do you have pinball machines and coin-operated games like slot machines, jukeboxes? How about Coke machines and soda machines? Also, neon signs, antique phonographs and music boxes, old toys, especially science fiction and Star Wars. Cowboy and Native American collections like barbershop, ice cream parlor, and saloon items. We'll take one item or an entire collection. We sell it all. Call me before you sell your items outright because you could be leaving a fortune on the table. And you won't know until you call me at 815-923-7000 or send me an email at DonnellyAuctions.com. My job is to get you top dollar for your collections, so call me at 815-923-7000. I'm Randy Donnelly, and I'll see you at the auction.
7:07, let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center Time is a service of Tom Mirabali Insurance. No matter the time of year, you can purchase a PPO health insurance plan that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. Get started at healthplanchicago.com. Inbound on the Edens, 32 minutes, Lake Cook Road to the junction, while the Kennedy sits in at 1 hour now. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Outbound 47 back out to the big airport. It's an hour in on the Ike from 390 to the old post office. Stevenson an hour from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. And the Dan Ryan 30 minutes, 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Periods of sun and clouds, a shower into the early afternoon today, high 68. It'll be clear tonight, low 54. Sunshine for tomorrow and Friday, a couple of very nice days. The high tomorrow 71, Friday's high at 77. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
55 at O'Hare, next news 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig and Leslie Bolano Sunday mornings at 10. Learn more at investwithwmg.com.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. You think Drag Queen Story Hour is a good time. You should try Senator John Kennedy Story Hour. Kids gather around.
Oh, my God. It was almost unlistenable.
Senate hearing yesterday on quote-unquote book banning. That's what the left calls their censorious nature. Censorious in some areas and profligate in others. Consistent with the larger agenda. And what's the larger agenda? State is the God, state is mom and dad. If you remember that, then everything sort of falls into place. State is God, state is mom and dad. Parents, get out of the way. Churches, get out of the way, or be torn asunder. That's the program. And Ali G., that Mimbo Obama rebounder on the down low is perhaps. We'll have to check in with Larry Sinclair on that. Was testifying before John Kennedy yesterday.
Okay.
And John Kennedy just decided to read a couple of selections from couple of Ali G's favorite books he was weaned on, I'm sure, over at the bank. Mob banker, too. Mob banking family, Ali G. Jaws Durango was not available, so Secretary of State Giannoulias was on scene. John Kennedy reading from All Boys Aren't Blue. These are books we've mentioned many times, books you've heard parents at school board meetings mention, read passages from all over the country, and then get shouted down by school board members, microphones turned off. No, you can't say
graphic.
This. You can't say this among adults.
And
this is for kindergartners and primary gradesters.
And these two books that they're referencing here today are in all of Chicago libraries.
Oh, yeah, of
Just so you
course.
know, because we have a ban. Illinois has a ban on book banning. Don't you know? That's why Ali G was there, to defend himself.
What?
But we'll get to that later.
Illinois doesn't have a ban on book banning. It has a ban on removing child porn from the classroom or the library. But if you want to ban Thomas Sowell's books, no problem. If you want to ban Bob Woodson's books or Shelby Steele or Frederick Hayek or Milton Friedman, you're not going to get any pushback. They're the great champions. No, they're not. They're totalitarians. That's their disposition. They have to be because, again, what's the premise? State is God, state is mom and dad. Mom and dad, get out of the way. Churches, get out of the way. Usher in All Boys Aren't Blue as the audiobook, as read to you by Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana.
Let's take two books that have been much discussed. The first one is called All Boys Aren't Blue, and I will quote from it. I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass, and I was struggling to imagine someone inside me. He got on top and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain.
Powerful.
It's absolute smut. And I can't
Pulitzer worthy. John Kennedy now would like to offer a selection from Genderqueer. Crowd favorite. at least Allie G's crowd.
I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's called genderqueer. Okay? Let me read an excerpt from that. Quote, I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite perfectly. You're going to look so hot. I can't wait to have your in my mouth. I'm going to give you the of your life. Then I want you inside of me. End quote.
All right. All right, everybody. It's time for recess.
Gather your stuff. Let's go. And kids would be dumbfounded in class, wondering what the heck that just was.
After.
And I love my liberal friend who's like, well, find me some heterosexual books that you think should be banned. And I came up with a
that they think should be.
Or that they think are pornographic.
First of all, just to restate, nobody is banning anything. Nobody is saying genderqueer or all boys aren't blue should be burned in the schoolyard. They should not be allowed to be published. Nobody's saying that. They're saying they shouldn't be force-fed into grade school libraries and classrooms. That is not banning books. All the books in the world aren't going to be in the library. You have to make choices when it comes to the syllabus. That's the point. Book banning, book banning, book banning. They're disingenuous on top of it, to be generous. They're really low-level liars. But that's what you have to do when you're going to sell, replacing you, Mom and Dad, with me, Allie Giannoulias. It's a tough sell. So John Kennedy's exchange with Allie G about those two books that were read during John Kennedy's story hour.
Now, Mr. Secretary, what are you asking us to do? Are you suggesting that only librarians should decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available to kids? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay. Tell me what you're saying.
Well, first of all, there's this...
Don't give me a speech. Tell me what you're asking me to do.
With all due respect, Senator, the words you spoke are disturbing, especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing.
Turn you on, Allie G?
I would also tell you that we're not advocating for kids to read porn, to Senator Booker's point.
What are you advocating for?
We are advocating for parents, random parents, not to have the ability, under the guise of keeping kids safe, to try and challenge the world view of every single manner on these issues.
You're getting conceptual game.
I'm not getting conceptual. I'm saying
yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because I want to know what you're recommending. It sounds to me like what some of you are saying, the librarians should decide who gets to see that book.
I'm saying when individual parents are allowed to make a decision of where that line is, and To Kill a Mockingbird, which involves a rape scene, should that book be pulled from our libraries? I think it becomes a slippery slope.
I think you ought to think about it a little bit more before you come here.
I've thought about,
if you're going to propose something, you ought to be able, in 30 seconds, to be able to explain what you're asking us to do.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. Congratulations, Illinois. We're in the news again. It's like Northwestern. And we should be ashamed that we have a knob like Allie G as a constitutional officer in the state, but we're not.
And I just loved how Senator Kennedy forced him. Like, tell me 30 seconds. Give me a reason why you're here.
My parents were immigrants, came to this country. We never checked out books without our parents seeing what books we were reading. They encouraged us to.
I understand this is good for your politics back home.
It's got nothing to do with my politics. My bill is passed.
My bill is passed. It has everything to do with your politics.
I'm here to.
But you came here with a problem, and I'm trying to understand the solution, and you don't have one.
We solved the solution.
Other than to tell us that we don't agree with you, you're on the wrong. We'll be on the wrong side of history.
We solved the problem in Illinois. We fixed it because we.
Well, there are others you could work on.
Well, that's why I'm here to help.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
To help other states make these decisions.
Right, to force feed this curriculum down the parents' throats. That's their solution.
Mm-hmm.
The solution is to mandate. It is to defer to Emily Drabinsky, the lesbian Marxist who thinks libraries need to be places of socialist organizing. And I mean that capital S, socialist, as in the ideology. And, of course, Ali G's on board because, I mean, he's a cipher. He is, you want to talk about a listless vessel, an empty vessel. This guy will
almost
say,
our senator.
He will say and do anything to advance his political career. He's a failed mob banker that's got a ton of money thanks to taxpayers and mobsters. And now he wants to be somebody. He wants to be a star.
Yeah, he was going to be Secretary of State. Then that'll parlay into becoming governor someday.
Listen to what he says and watch what they did. We don't want random parents opposing or imposing. In other words, random parents, and that's what you are if you oppose this orthodoxy. You're just a random parent. Shut up.
It's like, put on your mask, get your vax, and shut up.
It's insulting enough to compare genderqueer to Kill a Mockingbird, but it also shows the intellectual heft of somebody like Ali G, professional rebounder, professional Obama rebounder, and suck toy. I'm sure he was uncomfortable listening to John Kennedy read them.
Yes.
Read those passages.
Mm-hmm. And but the people behind them were laughing like little schoolgirls, like this is
random parents. Who are you, random parents? These random parents. I mean, that phrase, random parents. That's what struck me more than anything else. Random parents.
Just so dismissive to what we do for a living.
You're not going to get to make the call. How should these decisions be made? Well, it should be made by random parents who get to decide where their random kids go to school. That's number one. And then number two, this should be random parents being informed about what's happening in their schools and also taking the initiative to be informed so they can represent the interests of their random kids and express the social mores they would like to see reflected in the school as they are reflected in the home. But this is top down. They're Marxists. Top down. Politicians, administrative functionaries imposing on random parents. You understand the hierarchy? Because Ali G, even though he's adult, is essentially laying it out for you. He just can't do so with much flair because, he's got a room temperature IQ. And he was probably a little hot under the collar, a little distracted, getting a little worked up listening to that child porn that John Kennedy was reading. Scumbag. Human detritus. You're Secretary of State. Congratulations. Nice job, Republican Party. Jefferson and Sauganash.
Good morning. I missed my train, so I figured I'd call in.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
The random parent is an interesting way to put it. And if you take the time to listen to Sheldon Whitehouse from Rhode Island, I think it is, he made a similar comment about
Sheldon White's only. Yeah, right.
Alluding to the fact that people who didn't have kids in the school had no say. But I'm curious to see what type of blowback, pardon the pun, Alexi's going to get from the gay community with admitting that these, the passage of the books were either disturbing or disgusting. But it was Illinois' finest.
Thanks for the call, Jefferson. Grant in Rockford.
Good morning here. Random parent calling in.
Yeah.
So they tell you they tell you that the parents should be involved in the choice of the book, but then they do their damnedest to keep the parents out of everything involved in the kid's life. So if you're confused, not even confused, your kid picks this book up, you think the librarian's gonna call you and say, "Hey, little Billy just picked up this book. You maybe want to explain it to him." Hell no, they're not going to do it. As far as random people go, that sounds like your Rolling Meadows person. One random bee with an itch decided that she didn't like America and decided to take the whole thing down. The schools are just screwed. And as far as, parents who don't have kids in the school don't have a say in the game, I'm cool with that. My kid's not in school. Give me back my friggin' property tax.
Yeah, right.
75% of them go there. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so as soon as I stop getting a bill in the mail, then I'll stop complaining that I have a say in the school.
I'm going to come up with a new T-shirt, #RandomParent.
Here's the thing about that. Another lesson in how this works. The Marxists in charge exercise the power they have and they've conferred onto themselves. So the point is, power abhors a vacuum. If you don't exercise the power, if you don't protect your sovereignty, then they will take it. You're seeing this play out, right? Power abhors a vacuum. You cede power over your kids to the school, they will take it. How complicated is this?
Got a text message. Does Genolius have children? Yeah, he does. I believe he has 3. And when they were...
Who's the father?
Stop it. When they were announcing this, ban on book banning, him and Pritzker and everybody, which I wish to God I could have gone to that press conference and read them excerpts, because I don't know if they've even read the books, and I don't know if any reporters there read any excerpts from Genderqueer. But he was proudly holding his daughter and bouncing her around the entire press conference.
Another reason why
Dad, can you read to me before I go to bed?
Another reason why Dan Proft is single. A lovely woman from a great family who otherwise, as I understand, is a very nice person.
She's gorgeous.
Marries a barbarian and bespoils the Turlato family name by bringing that scum bag into the family. I mean, he is a terrible human being. And that's how we should talk about. It's beyond ridicule. Beyond ridicule with some of these people.
So her dad was conservative or Republican?
Turlato? The old man?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Larry and Sycamore.
Hi guys, I think you're hitting on all the great points, but unfortunately I've to the point now, I think, where we've crossed the Rubicon, and you know what I mean by that. But I think spirituality has been so void in society now. Hearing Senator Kennedy read those things, it's unbelievable. I don't know where common sense has gone, but I can tell you this, and I know you two are spiritual people. God is angry, and we're going to pay for this. I don't think there's a way back. I hope there is, but I don't think there's a way back, and it's sad. And you need to move away from big cities. You need to find red states and make them redder, that Jesse Kelly always talks about. And I don't see in our generation, I'm the same age as you guys, I don't see this coming back. So what are we leaving our kids with? And if we don't get our asses to the polls and vote these idiots out, we're done. You guys have a great day.
Thanks for the caller. Amy is significantly older than I am, by the way.
I am not.
I don't want to be grouped in.
No, I was probably a senior when you were a freshman, maybe.
Senior in college when I was a freshman in high school, maybe.
Hey.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's that. Jordan in Antioch.
Good morning. What it basically boils down to is these people are degenerates. People are immoral, degenerates. Faithless, immoral, degenerates. And if they can get the librarian or the school to sign off on this, then it becomes mainstream. And then they can addict your kids to it. It's an addiction, and they're degenerates, and they're forcing it on your kids. And if you allow it, and you're not standing up, and you're not going to back-to-school nights to see what's in your teachers' classrooms, if you're not going on their teachers' Facebook pages, if you're not seeing who is interacting with these kids the majority of the time that they are away from you, then you are culpable in indoctrinating them into that degenerate lifestyle. That's what it is. It's porn. It's smut. The reason they have to get it into the schools and in the libraries is because they could go buy it for their kid and read it to their kid and then go to jail But if they can get it into the schools and the libraries, it becomes mainstream, it becomes acceptable. Listen, I spent a long time behaviorally addicted to things, anger, fighting, porn, all that stuff. It was not until I turned away from that and went to God and started reading the Word and getting around people that are faith-based that I looked back and I saw the level of depravity that I would go through to acknowledge and to perpetuate my addiction in those things. And that's all they're doing. They're just justifying it so they can drag your kids into it. If you are not actively involved in your kids' phones, their teachers' Facebook pages, Instagram, TikTok, you're not going to school and seeing what's in the classrooms. You're not literally, I hate to say it, but helicopter parenting your kids over safeguarding them about who they interact with. You are responsible. You are a bad parent, and that's all there is to it. In this way and age, you have to be the defense.
Thanks for the call, Jordan. Appreciate it. Where does Allie G send his kids to school? Anybody know?
Oh, we'll find out. We always do. Even though Stacey Davis Gates, remember that 6-page email, she just said she was more upset that she got caught than what she was doing, because she kept saying in that email that this person has been after me and my family, the whistleblower, and that's why you know about this. So whatever. We'll find out, because their son's on Max Preps, by the way, too. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 7:37, we turn to Bidenomics. Income drop, poverty soared, according to the Census Bureau, and other wonders. Steve Moore joins us at 7:37.
But now into the newsroom we go. The one and only Mike Scott.
Dan and Amy, we have 55 degrees this morning at 7:31. A fallen Chicago fire lieutenant will be laid to rest today. The funeral for Lieutenant Kevin Ward will be held at 4th Presbyterian Church in Chicago. The United Auto Workers Union says this morning it will go on strike if no preliminary agreement is reached by 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. The union is planning an unusual strike and will target certain factories only at first, then escalate the work stoppage in waves. The White House is slamming Speaker Kevin McCarthy's decision to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. White House spokesperson Ian Sams called it, quote, extreme politics, end quote. House Speaker McCarthy is backing an impeachment inquiry into the president.
This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public.
McCarthy on Tuesday said months of Republican-led investigations have uncovered serious and credible allegations Joe Biden was involved in his son's foreign business dealings. More than 5,000 are presumed dead in Libya after flooding hit the North African country in recent days, torrential rain causing dams to burst, sweeping away entire neighborhoods. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin continue to meet and deepen ties. It's a deal to supply Moscow with weapons for its war in Ukraine. City of Chicago facing a large budget shortfall in 2024. The Sun-Times is pegging that budget gap at $538 million. Meantime, Mayor Brandon Johnson's choice to serve as city comptroller survived his confirmation hearing Monday, but not before being grilled about a background heavy on politics with very little on the resume about shepherding taxpayer cash. Alderman Ray Lopez dominated questioning, drilling down on comptroller-designate Chase Raywinkle's social media postings after campaigning for candidates who want to dramatically reduce the Chicago Police Department budget. Alderman Jason Irvin, the chairman of the Budget Committee, was also harshly critical of Raywinkle's lack of financial expertise. Cubs lost to the Rockies 6-4. White Sox split a double dip with the Royals at guaranteed rate. Eloy Jimenez did belt home run number 16. Mike Clevenger will start for Chicago against Kansas City tonight. 7:33, and we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Make sure that you never miss a day of Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson when you subscribe to the Chicago's Morning Answer podcast, presented by Signature Bank. Listen to the entire show each day on demand with limited commercial breaks. You can subscribe today for free at 560theanswer.com and click on podcasts, or search for Chicago's Morning Answer on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is Seth Leibson of AM 960 The Patriot for townhall.com. The California legislature just passed a bill requiring that a child's choice of his or her gender identity shall be taken into consideration in custody cases. If a parent does not agree with the child's views, the courts are to take that into account when deciding whether or not parents are fit to keep their own child. This is an assault on the fundamental rights of parents to direct the upbringing of their children, and an ideological power grab of the state over and against family autonomy, an ideological interruption of natural child rearing, and a disorientation of adult responsibility and vulnerable youth maturation, putting temporary childhood excitations over and above responsible adult guidance. The state, in other words, is now becoming the parent over tender ideological life-altering decisions. If Governor Gavin Newsom signs this bill, which is likely, he will shred thousands of years of natural right, natural law, parental authority, and yes, sanity, just when we thought California could not sink further. I'm Seth Leibson.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having nationwide access with an annual deductible of only $226. There are only two good things about aging, wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part, my guidance costs you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor, C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com, is someone I know and trust. He's a 28-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute, because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
7:37. We're seeing live in East Natmeal, Pennsylvania this morning. The convicted killer who escaped from a Pennsylvania prison 2 weeks ago has been captured. Authorities have announced the arrest of Danilo Cavalcante this morning. We've just seen him put into a police vehicle just moments ago. Fox News will have further details in the coming half hour on the arrest of the escaped killer in Pennsylvania. Let's get an update on the roads now. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. A service of Advanced Design Studio. Thinking of a home renovation but aren't sure where to begin? Check out Common Sense Remodeling with Advanced Design Studio online at advanceddesignstudio.com. On the roads this morning, 38 on your inbound Edens commute, Lake Cook Road to the junction. The Kennedy at an hour 10, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike, red numbers between Manheim and Holman this morning, and 62 minutes in from 390 to the old post office. Stevenson, an hour 14 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, an accident with 2 left lanes blocked. The delay starts at Ashland. The accident right before Pulaski. We'll keep our eyes on that. Dan Ryan, 64 from 95th into the Burn Circle interchange. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sun today. Could kick off an afternoon early shower. High 68. Star-studded sky overnight. Low 54, 55 right now. Next news at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by IDT. Eliminate paper files with the IoT Smart Connected Scanning Device. Find them at ready4IDT.com.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So Kevin McCarthy, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, announced there will be an impeachment inquiry into Biden Incorporated. And that was met with support from rank-and-file members, including the House Freedom Caucus, Scott Perry, chairman, and including members of the House Oversight Committee like Nancy Mace, who wants to see the big guys' bank records and believes that this collaboration between the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, that would be Jim Comer, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, that would be Jim Jordan, chairman of Ways and Means, that would be Jason Smith, can help facilitate that occurrence. And here's how Senator Slingblade from Pennsylvania reacted to the news of the impeachment inquiry.
Ask you about this news that Speaker McCarthy has formally launched an impeachment or has said he's going to.
Oh my God, really? Oh my gosh, it's devastating. Ooh, don't do it. Please don't do it. Oh no, oh no.
We gotta run back to the office, but
That's his aide trying to spare him from making a bigger fool out of himself than he just did, because he's like, oh no. And he's wearing, of course, the signature hoodie and shorts.
And then he
the Senate. Oh my God.
Then he went to get some French fried taters after that because he likes them.
I like them French fried potatoes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
That is so.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like the lead character of Breaking Bad now because he shaved off the goatee and it just has the mustache and
will
save him from himself.
Senator Slingblade come to regret that mockery. For more on this and other topics, economic, please be joined by Steve Moore, economist, author of Govzilla. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, guys.
The right move by the House Speaker and House Republicans to proceed to the next step here?
Well, I'm undecided about it. I don't know all the facts. I think some inquiry into all of the mounting evidence against Hunter and Joe and the relationship they had financially, it does look like it was a pay-to-play scheme, and so I'm all in favor of moving forward with this. But I don't want the attention diverted to what Joe Biden has done to the American economy. Now, I'm an economist, so I guess everything looks like an economic issue, but when you have the poverty rate rising faster than any other year in 30 years, that's a really bad number. When you have family incomes falling last year under Bidenomics, which he says is a big success, by almost $3,000 for family incomes. I mean, that's a big, big deal. And I think those are the kind of kitchen table issues that people care most about. By the way, the other one I think you're probably aware of is the child poverty rate, because Joe Biden always talks about how much he cares about the children. The child poverty rate doubled.
Well, it's so bad. I mean, Governor Kemp from Georgia declared a state of emergency over inflation. What do you think about that?
Well, we just got some new numbers in this morning, literally just a few minutes ago. So I'm still trying to go through them and figure out what exactly these numbers mean. But what's going on now is, by the way, just as an aside, you probably heard this term core inflation. Do you know what that is, Amy? Core inflation?
No.
Okay, I'm not surprised because most people don't know. I mean,
don't.
this is
I'm
one of
honest.
these this is just one of these fancy economic terms that makes no sense. So core inflation, you're going to love this, Amy. So core inflation is the inflation rate, but what they take out is the price of energy and gas and food. And I've always thought, well, hold on. This is what everybody's buying. We spend most of our money on gas and energy and food. So why would you take that up? Oh, because that's volatile in price. So anyway, they keep talking about, well, core inflation is down. Yeah, but if you look at what the gas price is, I don't know what you're paying. What are you paying now there in the Chicago area?
Well, downtown it's $4.45, premium $5.09. Out in the burbs, it's about $4.09.
Yeah, and it's going up because the price of oil just went up to $90 a barrel. So it takes a week or two for those higher oil prices to translate into higher prices at the gas pump. So you're going to be looking at $4.50 a gallon around the Chicago area. It was about $2.49 a gallon when Trump left. My point is that this war on American energy has had an extraordinarily negative effect on the prices that people are paying for their utilities and for their. But don't look at that. Look at core inflation. Look at the price of everything except oil and gas and food. I mean, Dan, does that make any sense?
No, but it's fun with numbers, which the government is great at. I mean, it's lies, damn lies, and statistics. 3.7 versus 3.6, and they're blaming it on as you just mentioned, gasoline prices spiking. But the war on energy continues. One of its victims, Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm, who was almost arrested the other day as she's doing a little jaunt in her EV to show the wonders of the EVs. They're hunting around for a charging station. They can't find one, and it almost ends in the Energy Secretary getting arrested. I love it.
Yeah. So what happened? I mean, you talk about terrible advanced planning. Geez, thank God these people weren't the people who planned D-Day, right? So they're going to do this big promotion on electric vehicles. How wonderful it is! You can just pull up your car, and so she's driving around town. She's got all the media. Guess what? She's low on the charge on her battery, so now she has to find a charging station. And so I don't know the exact facts, but apparently what they did was, they knew of a charging station, down the street. So they told one of her advanced people to pull their regular car, the gas car, into the electric vehicle spot to save the spot for her. Well, anybody with an electric vehicle knows you get pretty pissed off when somebody uses one of those spaces, for a parking space, not to charge their car. And so apparently when she got there, people were, pretty pissed off that everybody had to wait in line to get their charge so the energy secretary could get the charge in her car because she's important.
Of course.
She's so important. She should go ahead of everybody else.
Yes.
That's the whole attitude of Washington, by the way. Everybody else get back in line because the energy secretary.
Clear the roads. Exactly. Perfect.
Grand home here.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I love it. It works on so many levels. It's a wonderful ruling class story.
I missed that one, so thank you for bringing it to my
Oh,
attention.
yeah,
Did anybody get arrested?
No.
Well,
No.
but
No.
but you know what? The media tried
Lucky
to
they
cover
didn't get
it up,
killed.
this story. So you have to go to the alternative media, like the Committee to Unleash Prosperity hotline, to get these stories. But
Yes.
it was so hilarious to watch, and it was just. I mean, here's the thing: it's like the Keystone Cops with these people. I mean, they just can't seem to get anything right, and so their whole, the whole mission of saying, "Oh, look at how easy it is to use electric vehicles. Why are people resisting this? They can't get a place to charge the car."
Well, I mean, it's tough to keep keep these giant frauds going without having a few hiccups here and there. So on a bit
by
of
the way,
good.
the other one on the energy front that I just wanted to mention, if I may, Dan, is that just as the gas prices are going up and up and up and up and up, and the oil price, keeps, because it was $60 a barrel when Trump left, and now it's $90 a barrel, and so just as these prices are spiking, talk about bad timing. Biden goes out to Alaska and says, by the way, I'm taking 2 million acres of prime oil and gas lands off of development, so you can't use it for drilling. I mean, really great timing. And then the week before that, I mean, again, folks, I'm not making this up. Then he says he's got a new energy strategy. You know where we're going to get our oil from, Dan and Amy? Venezuela.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, our
boy.
friends in Venezuela. Those.
We're
You
so
know why?
close.
Because Maduro, here's the thing, Maduro has agreed to have honest and open elections. Because he told Joe Biden we're going to have honest and open elections. It's like, that's less likely than Chicago having no honest elections.
Some other news here, too. Bad news for Bolivia. I mean, if we decide to exploit the resources that we have properly. But 20 to 40 million tons of lithium metal lie within a volcanic crater formed around 16 million years ago along the Nevada-Oregon border.
Yeah, big story.
That's
Yeah.
good news for us if we want to use our natural resources.
Yeah,
Maybe we should just
exactly.
continue importing from Bolivia.
No, I guarantee you that they're not going to. So Biden has not just declared war on American energy, he's also declared war on American mining. So we're not allowed to mine anything in the United States, even though in the mountains of Colorado and Montana and the Dakotas and even in California, we have more probably mineral resources than any other country in the world, but we can't mine for them because it makes much more sense to get our lithium from China rather than getting it from Nevada.
Yes, right. I mean, and this amid all the, we need to build our own semiconductor plants. Intel does in Ohio, so that we're not overly dependent on Taiwan. And for for the development of pharma drugs, we need to onshore them and the precious metals. But yet, then when we make these discoveries, or you see people really hurting, Americans really hurting. Remember them. There's no political will to do anything because it doesn't comport with what Joe Biden said in Hanoi just this week, which was that the only threat to civilization greater than nuclear war is climate change.
It's climate change. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's absolutely for sure. And look, I want to mention one other one that just I find really infuriating because sometimes people say, "Oh, you're just for the private companies and blah blah blah." So, can you guys explain to me, Amy? This one's for you because you're a mom. So, the United States government just bought 20 million doses of this new Moderna. I think it's mostly Moderna child vaccine for COVID.
Yeah, and they're telling us 6 months and older should get this booster
It's
shot.
outrageous. I mean, children do not need to be inoculated from COVID.
Oh, I know. And yesterday they came out and said if your child didn't get the first, round of vaccine and the first round of boosters, I think this is number 5 or 6 now, that I could give my child 3 doses of this new vaccine.
It's so outrageous. And here's the thing, Dan. This is a corporate welfare program. This is about the federal government giving all of this money. And look, I like our pharmaceutical industry. I love life-saving drugs. I've been a defender of the pharmaceutical industry. I cannot defend this. This is just this incestuous relationship between government and Moderna. Moderna is going to make billions of dollars off of this. And I guarantee you, at least half of those vaccine doses will never be used. And it may be more than that. So what is going on here?
Speaking of healthcare, generally speaking,
yeah,
this is important. Obamacare, Republicans were going to repeal that, and then John McCain stopped it. Maybe they should revisit that if they're entrusted with power again in 2024. A good piece from John Goodman in the Journal about this. Remember, the Affordable Care Act was going to make good, affordable health insurance available to people with pre-existing conditions. That was the featured selling point.
Right.
Right. People with pre-existing conditions that can't get coverage, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's been the opposite. It's the opposite. Obamacare makes health insurance as good as possible for the healthy and as bad as possible for the sick. Listen to this example from Goodman. Consider a hypothetical middle-aged couple in Dallas earning $70,000 a year. Suppose they have 2 children, both of whom have serious birth defects. Although this family will pay no premium for a Blue Cross bronze plan in the exchange, they'll face a $9,100 deductible for each child, so their out-of-pocket is $18,200 a year. They're making $70,000. It gets worse. Patients with serious diseases often require the care of highly trained specialists who usually work at centers of excellence. But that family in Dallas will discover that their Blue Cross plan isn't accepted at leading cancer providers nearby, including Baylor and the University of Texas. The problem isn't unique to Texas, Goodman goes on. Obamacare plans have very skinny networks in every state. They tend to pay providers Medicaid rates or close to them. As a result, Obamacare looks like Medicaid with a high deductible.
You know what? It is absolutely true. And here's the thing. Obamacare is a really great health insurance plan unless you get sick.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the truth. They're trying to use every barrier to get it, so the very population of people who, have, serious chronic diseases are the ones, or diseases at birth are the ones that are not getting the coverage, which is exactly the opposite, of course, what Obamacare was supposed to do. By the way, the
Another
left is
fraud.
running around saying, look at how much money Obamacare is saving. I don't know if you've noticed this. Yeah, you know how it's saving money? It's not providing health care for people.
Yeah, that's wonderful cost-cutting measure. Steve Moore, economist, Govzilla author. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, have a great week. Take care. Go Cubs.
You too, and thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful at lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question, and the owners of Relief Factor tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. That's right, designed to heal, and I agree with them. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor selected the 4 best ingredients, yes, 100% drug-free ingredients, each helping your body deal with inflammation. Each of the 4 ingredients deals with inflammation from a different metabolic pathway. That's right there, approaching from 4 different angles, maybe why so many people find such wonderful relief. So if you have back pain, shoulder, neck, hip, knee, or foot pain from exercise or just getting older, you should order the 3-week quick start, discounted to only $19.95, to see if it will work for you. It has for about 70% of the 500,000 people who've tried it, and they've ordered more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF, the number 4RELIEF, to find out about this offer. Feel the difference.
You've heard Rumpke's Garage commercials on AM 560, so you know they specialize in servicing Sprinters and light-duty diesels. Jennifer Granholm could have used one of those. The experts at Rumpke's also service Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. So if you own an Isuzu or Chevy low-cab forward truck but aren't sure where to get it repaired, take it to Rumpke's Garage, your number 1 dealer alternative for repairs to your Isuzu NPR, Isuzu F-Series, or Chevy low-cab forward truck. Whether gas or diesel, your truck is the lifeline of your business. Rumpke's recognizes that, which is why they offer free loaners while your truck is being serviced. They'll even pick up and deliver for your convenience. Rumpke's Garage has the factory scan tool to properly diagnose Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty. Go to Rumpke'sGarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks and schedule your appointment today. That's Rumpke's, REMKES, Garage.com.
Rick here from Forever Remodeling. You probably heard me talk about how our unique design-build process removes the normal problems of hiring a design and construction company separately. But just don't take my word for it. Listen to these customer reviews. Kelly W. says, from consultation to design to construction, my remodel flowed seamlessly. Adity J says, we were thrilled to have a full-service remodeling firm take all the guesswork out of our project. And Caesar V says, Forever Remodeling made what could have been a very stressful project extremely easy for us. They finished on time and did amazing work. Kitchens, bathrooms, basements, additions, whole house remodeling, whatever you need, our start-to-finish process delivers stunning results without the hassles, headaches, and stress. For a free consultation, call Forever Remodeling at 847-809-3355 or visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com.
Are you a driver of a Ford PowerStroke diesel engine? Tired of taking your Ford PowerStroke diesel in to be misdiagnosed or paying for repairs that don't fix the problem? Well, bring your vehicle to the diesel headquarters, Remke's Garage. The shop is equipped with state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment and highly trained technicians. Take it to the experts. Take it to Remke's Garage. Remke's Garage specializes in Ford PowerStroke, Chevy Duramax, Dodge Cummins, Mercedes Sprinter, and Isuzu diesel engines and transmission repairs. At Remke's, they'll make your vehicle repairs convenient by offering a free commercial loaner vehicle.
Remke's Garage, where you won't spend $1,000 to fix a $100 problem. Call for details and to schedule an appointment at 800-5-REMKES. Or visit Remke'sGarage.com. Remke's Garage, your diesel headquarters.
Cable news. Noisy, out of touch, on repeat. Tired of all the lookalikes? So are we. Salem News Channel is here to change the game. Streaming 24/7, free on your TV with the greatest collection of conservative voices. Home to Dinesh D'Souza, Andrew Wilkow, Brandon Tatum, and more. Like you, we say what's wrong and what's right. Unfiltered and unapologetic. Salem News Channel. We're the answer to the mainstream media. Learn more at snc.tv. AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
If Susanna Gibson can't get elected in Virginia, maybe she should move to Chicago suburbs. 808.
But now into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Chicago Fire Lieutenant's funeral is later this morning. Democrat Party officials visit Chicago for a DNC preview. Cubs falter late against the Rockies while the White Sox split a doubleheader with KC. And the Sky begin the WNBA playoffs. Clouds and sun with a shower around into the early afternoon, high 68. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. They've just captured the escaped prisoner in Pennsylvania. I'm Dave Anthony. It ends a 14-day manhunt for Danilo Cavalcante.
I can tell you that he was caught near the home where he broke into a garage and stole that .22 caliber rifle on Monday night. And I'm told that he was arrested by Pennsylvania State Police teams as well as Border Patrol.
That's Fox's Nate Foy in Chester County, Pennsylvania, where Cavalcante broke out of prison just days after being sentenced to life for murdering an ex-girlfriend. But the manhunt continues for an accused killer in Washington, D.C.
A $30,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the capture of Christopher Haynes, who escaped last Wednesday, just hours after being arrested on suspicion of killing a man last month. An officer was handcuffing him to a gurney when Haynes hit the officer and got free, outrunning two officers who chased him.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Now an update just out on inflation from Fox's Jenny Casola.
The Consumer Price Index for August rose 0.6%, largely because of fuel costs. And for the year ending in August, prices are up 3.7%.
That's 0.5% increase in the annual rate of inflation from July. House Republicans say an impeachment inquiry is important for their investigation into President Biden and if he played a role in or made money from his son Hunter's overseas business dealings. Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan tells Fox.
I think it will certainly mean something to courts when we get into the inevitable game that's going to play out here, where we want certain documents, we want certain witnesses to be deposed, and the administration says, no, they're going to drag their feet on that.
Democrats say this is illegitimate and there's no evidence the president did anything wrong. North Korea's leader will visit 2 more cities in Russia after a summit today with President Vladimir Putin amid speculation that North Korea could provide weapons and ammo for the war in Ukraine in exchange for economic aid and military technology. America's listening to Fox News.
Degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A fallen Chicago fire lieutenant will be laid to rest today. The funeral for Lieutenant Kevin Ward will be held at the 4th Presbyterian Church in Chicago. Ward died late last month from injuries suffered when he became trapped in the basement of a burning home. Ward is the 3rd member of the department to die in the line of duty this year. 2 men were stabbed multiple times, one fatally on the city's northwest side. It happened late last night in the 3000 block of North Elston. Police say they responded to a person stabbed and found 2 men inside of an apartment with stab wounds. Police are investigating a series of early morning car burglaries in Chicago's South Loop and Bronzeville neighborhoods. 3rd Ward Alderwoman Pat Dowell says she's already brought in extra squad cars from other districts to try and catch the vandals, but is now suggesting the creation of a task force to address the growing problem. Bail denied for a Chicago man accused of trying to drown his 2-year-old son in a bathtub. Jeremiah Campbell is charged with attempted murder, child endangerment, and violating an order of protection in connection to a 2021 case. Court documents say the incident happened August 25th at a South Shore home. Cubs lost to the Rockies 6-4. White Sox split a double dip with the Royals, taking Game 1 6-2, falling in Game 2 11-10. The news, a service of In Grace with Jim Scudder Jr., now heard on Sunday morning at 6:30 on AM 560 The Answer. 8:03 time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Spirit Airlines shares are losing ground. The company says it's paying more for fuel and has had to offer discounted airfares for the period leading up to Thanksgiving. Spirit has plans to merge with JetBlue, which earlier this week offered to pull back operations in Boston and Newark with hopes of satisfying regulators. Mortgage demand is at a 27-year low as measured by the Mortgage Bankers Association. Its average for the 30-year fixed rate is up to 7.27%. BP shares are slumping after its chief executive Bernard Looney resigned. The company says it's investigating Looney's personal relationships with colleagues and says the oil executive was not fully transparent. He's been working on the company's global transition to renewable energy. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Sean Thompson Show.
Trump has been given a bond of $200,000 in Georgia. So you're gonna give an ex-president bond, then you're gonna tell him what he can do with his freedom of speech. Let me tell you something, you rat bastard Democrats. I'm onto your scheme. And it's not about the bond. It's not about documents. It's not about election questioning. It's about really upending the scam that you're running. And it's a total scam.
The Sean Thompson Show. Weekday afternoons at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
You're invited to join Chicago's Aid for Women, celebrating 45 years of empowering women to choose life. Join them Thursday evening, September 28th at the Union League Club in downtown Chicago for their annual benefit dinner. The keynote speaker will be the Babylon Bee's Seth Dillon. The Presidium Vitae Award will be presented to Relevant Radio. Aid for Women provides many important services to women facing unplanned pregnancy who may be considering abortion. At Aid for Women, they believe that the solution to a crisis pregnancy is to remove the crisis, not the child. Aid for Women provides housing, parenting classes, mentoring, and genuine friendship to pregnant women in need, allowing them to choose life and setting them on the path to financial security and independence. To learn more about this event and to support this great organization, go to helpaidforwomen.org. That's helpaidforwomen.org. You can help save lives and souls from abortion today.
Have you been struggling to find an easy, safe, and secure document scanning solution for Salesforce.com, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, or OnBase by Highland? Your struggle is now over, and it's time to get your documents and operations into the 21st century. With IoT Smart Connected Scanning, it's easy to turn physical paper into digital documents and have them directly uploaded to the cloud with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. And you don't need a degree in computing or IT to make it happen. Using QR code technology uniquely configured for your specific business, anyone can set the IoT Smart Connected Scanning device up in 5 minutes or less, saving your organization money and valuable time. Remote employees can even capture documents and send them safely and seamlessly. Organize documents efficiently and securely with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. To see a demo or to order now, go to ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com. Use promo code SMART and receive 10% off your order. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Now, I've told you about how Relief Factor helped me with my aches and pains. Let me tell you about Haven in Texas. Haven writes, I'm taking Relief Factor from my shoulder and lower back, and it works. No more pain. My husband started taking Relief Factor for his upper back and hip and didn't think it was working until he ran out and realized the pain was coming back. Relief Factor just works. We are so happy it's working for you and your husband like it does for thousands of others across America. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free solution developed by doctors to help your body attack the underlying inflammation causing pain. What activity would you like to be doing again? Your first step to becoming pain-free could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
8:08, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of MyPillow. Big news, MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. Proprietary technology makes them absorbent, yet you still get that soft feel that you look for in a towel. And for a limited time, get 50% savings with promo code LIBERTY. Inbound Edens, 42 heavy minutes Lake Cook Road to the junction. It's an hour 20 on the inbound Kennedy from O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Eichen, an hour 15 from 390 to the old post office. Stevenson inbound, an hour 16 from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. The Dan Ryan is just a mess because of a local lanes accident inbound between the Skyway and 31st. It is an hour 15 from 95th into the Burns Circle interchange. I'd say avoid it if you can right now. And it is backing up as well on 57 and the Bishop 4. No traffic moving there. And also on inbound 57, there's an accident right at 103rd. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Clouds and sun today. Could kick off an afternoon shower. High 68. 59 right now at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. A candidate for state delegate in the state of Virginia. Her name is Susanna Gibson. She's backed by Moms Demand Action. She's running as a Democrat socialist. Moms Demand Action is a grassroots group of gun banners. She's raising money for a good cause, she said, by performing graphic sex acts online with her husband, where she told viewers to this private site, Chatterbait.
Oh, I see what they did there.
I bet you do. And if you go to Chatterbait, you can see what they did there.
I'm okay. I don't need to go. Thank you.
She
I
tells
saw some highlights.
viewers on Chatterbait that she likes being choked.
Oh.
She said they could watch her urinate for the right price.
Well, that escalated quickly. What else is on the menu, Dan?
She
Yeah, I'm
let's
waiting.
see. I like being choked. I like being hit. I do.
Hit.
I just want a private room with somebody filming there so I can come looking at it.
Okay.
Oh, God, I want to blanking get railroaded by all of you.
Are you John Kennedy right now? Because I feel like you're the senator
Dan-
reading excerpts.
Dan Prof
from
Story
both-
Hour. I'm definitely a slut. This is not a. I'm not quoting myself. I'm quoting her.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm definitely a slut. In order to leave the
Oh.
door cracked, I need 500 tokens. This is, I guess, you buy tokens, and that puts money in her account.
People make so much money off of this. You have no idea. I
tell-
know a couple in Utah that is making. Well, they started out 500. Then by the year's end, they're making $1 million plus.
for
They
having
use
sex
their-
online.
Yeah, but they use their home as, it's an LLC, and their home, they can write off their home now on their mortgage because that's where they do their work.
It sounds like you're looking into this as
No,
a
no.
potential
No, no, no.
business venture.
No.
Hey,
It's just,
let me run the traps
Well,
on this
here's the
before I
thing.
do it.
So here's the thing.
Can
though,
look, I'm on board. Do I get to write off my house? Can I take that as a? Go ahead.
I was golfing with this woman's father, and he showed me a picture. His daughter is she is gorgeous.
Oh,
and I
like
said,
Michelle Obama?
I go, what does she do for a living? He said, well, she's an influencer. And then I dug a little deeper. I don't think Dad really knows what she and her husband are doing. It's like soft hardcore porn-ish, and people pay, but they pay money to watch them do sex acts.
Susanna Gibson says she had sex with 3 men in one day and, quote, don't tell my husband he was the third. I would say ethically monogamous, but I guess that 3 in one day was not. I'm raising money for a good cause. It's my birthday, so give me more, please, because it's my birthday night. And, yeah, so then I blanked him in his house for the first time, and then later that night I blanked my husband. I feel like
I feel
I'm
like she could be lying to you.
I feel like I'm on the Newlywed Game, like I'm Bob Eubanks.
yeah.
I blanked, and then I blanked. All right, 30 seconds. Fill in the words. Mm-hmm. She can be heard saying in the videos that she can be heard in the video saying he doesn't like sharing her with other men. With Gibson saying, sometimes I have to, though. She makes me, her husband. Yeah, her husband gave her $5,000 to her for her to campaign around the time the videos were filmed. Now, the obvious question is, if you were in Virginia, would you only vote for Susanna Gibson, or would you also volunteer for her? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. I mean, this has nothing to do with her public policy chops. This has nothing to do with her leadership skills, right? I mean,
Well, we know she can generate funds if she needs to.
You wouldn't hold this against her.
Would you?
Unless maybe she'd want you to. You wouldn't hold this against her, right? This doesn't matter with your vote, does it? Does it? I mean, seriously, would you? That's a serious question. Would you not vote for this person? Let's say she was, ostensibly a conservative. It'd be hard to reconcile, but just saying she was running as a Republican candidate against a Democrat. Does this bother you? Would it matter? This is great. Her response to this surfacing. She's running, by the way, against a Republican businessman named Dave Owen. Owen said, I'm sure this is a difficult time for Susanna and her family, and I'm remaining focused on my campaign, staying out of it. Smart. But
why?
I don't think it's a difficult time for Susanna and her family at all.
I mean, they're out there. They're owning this. She's not denying it.
The best part is some half-ass attorney saying this is a violation, her attorney, violation of the state's anti-porn revenge law.
Oh boy.
It's how do you make out that case? You are voluntarily putting this content on it's a private site, but it's for public viewing, pay per public viewing.
Pay per public viewing.
And so this gets out, and you say, so people sharing it as somebody takes it from this place you voluntarily put it that is open to public access. I mean, I don't want to get it like any deeper into the legal argument or into anything else for that matter. But I'm just saying. I mean, this is the best though. Her response. My opponent and his allies know the people of this district are on our side on the issues. So they're stooping to the worst gutter politics. God, how dare you take this race into the gutter? That's awesome. She has the moral high ground here, obviously. Right?
Do you think she's cute? Hot or not? 312-642-5600.
Yeah, that's the real.
No, that's the real question.
I don't.
No,
my political opponents and their Republican allies have proven they're willing to commit a sex crime to attack me and my family because there's no line they won't cross to silence women when they speak up. No, please keep talking. Tell us more about your fetishes and fantasies and what you'll do and with whom you'll do it. Susanna Gibson, keep talking. We don't want to silence you. No, honey.
Oh, my gosh. This is classic.
This is where we are. Hot wife experience. Candidate for Virginia House of Delegates.
Did they properly vet her before they backed her? That group that you were talking about? Moms for, what was it?
Moms Demand Action.
Yeah.
Oh, they're too busy, worrying about guns, having agency and running around shooting people without any human beings attached to them to worry about things like this. Plus, I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, seriously, what's the big deal? This isn't a big deal. It's with her husband and apparently others. But hey,
I think
that's their choice. By the way, when we were talking about earlier about these awfuls, angry white leftist females ruining the country, well, they certainly are. But they're also, a lot of them, married to a cuckold like this douchebag that she's married to. Oh my gosh, am I passing judgment? Oh heavens. I hope not. Golly. No, nobody wants to tackle this. It's so interesting. I thought the story was perfect for our time. Perfect for our time. And the response from the candidate and her attorney, perfect for our time.
That they're victimized by all this.
Yeah, they're
Well,
the
she's
ones
still doing
under
it? 'Cause I know
assault.
She's a nurse, too. I mean, is she still...
Well, gosh, I hope this doesn't impact her professional standing.
I mean, she still has that job, right? She didn't get fired. or
I have
anything.
no idea.
I mean, I know somebody who was a porn star, and she was on PTA, and she got kicked off the PTA.
Gibson,
because-
yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have Montana Sky. Well, she went to Augustana. She's a friend of a friend. She went to Augustana, and her porn name was Montana Sky. And when people found out, she was
nice.
kicked off the PTA. I think it was in Downers Grove or Elmhurst. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. The left is so accepting of people's professions.
Well, she shouldn't have been
Others.
kicked off the PTA?
No, I don't. I mean, it was years ago that she did it, and it came up to haunt her. And I don't know.
You're not allowed to have a viewpoint on somebody being a, I'm sorry, what's the term? Professional sex worker? Is that what we're calling it now? Yeah, I have an opinion on that. And I have an opinion on somebody like that being on the PTA group or in any position of authority, frankly. Yeah, I have an opinion on it. I'm allowed to have an opinion. She can have an opinion too, and then we'll vote. Vote your shares.
Yep.
Susanna Gibson appeared alongside U.S. Senator Tim Kaine. Well, she doesn't have anything to worry about with him.
Oh my God. Suburban dad on the down low. And
That's Tim
driving
Kaine.
the minivan and the high jeans.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim Kaine. He
You
and
won't see-
Hillary were such a great couple.
You won't see Tim Kaine in one of Susanna Gibson's videos unless she's wearing a strap on.
Hey,
Oh, is that too graphic?
But he was.
Nothing's too graphic.
He endorsed her. He's backing her, and
I don't know. She's backing
campaigning?
her.
Yeah.
There's a double entendre in this context.
Wait, is she charging him?
She is a public health expert, Susanna Gibson.
Oh, okay. Go on. Yes.
Question is, how if somebody is going to urinate on you, how do you do it in a sanitary way? I want to be safe. When somebody's urinating on me, I want to be safe. Since you're a professional at this and you have the expertise, maybe you can answer that question.
I mean, they accused Trump of golden showers, and she's actually doing golden
For money.
Yeah.
She's a public health expert concerned about Republican efforts to punish teachers with teacher reporting tip lines or videos in the classrooms to monitor. You're afraid of being on video. When teachers on video, that's your business. Yeah. She's on social media. Has a family-friendly seal of approval because she's got her husband and the two kids.
She's got kids.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. What? What are you talking about?
Mom, Dad, what did you do when I was a kid?
Hey, this is how we paid for college.
Oh, they'll justify it by saying that too. You know that. We had to provide a roof over your head. It was
Don't
easy
you
money.
pass judgment on me on how I provide for this family.
Oh, got a text message. Glen Ellen, Montana Sky was from.
Oh, of course,
where she got
of course.
kicked off the
Well,
PTA.
Susanna Gibson, if she, as I said at the outset, if she is unsuccessful in this race in Virginia, and I don't know much about this delegate district, I mean, she could certainly move to Illinois and run in Glen Ellen or Naperville, River Forest, the North Shore. I mean, landslide. She probably should run statewide, I think. So, yeah, maybe.
But isn't Virginia State House like teetering between Republican and Democratic control? So this is a big vote.
Yeah, Virginia's competitive at that level. But, yeah, I mean, so again, there's always a safe haven for her. She could be like a political leader in Illinois.
Yeah.
Matt, Southside, Chicago's morning.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. I'm thinking if she doesn't have a successful run for the House, maybe she could become vice president.
Oh, there you go.
Of course, I don't think she's going to want Joe Biden to be running for president. Maybe she'll luck out. Maybe Gavin Newsom. That might be a little more her style.
Hey, Matt, you're not going to the Loyola Brother race game this weekend, are you?
No, I'm not.
All right, good. Just stay on the south side and out of Wilmette.
Where you belong. They don't want your kind there.
Yeah, all right.
Don't worry, I don't want to be up there, but thank you for everything you guys do.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Scott in Aurora.
Yeah, I want to know if Susanna Gibson is peeing on people for money. Does that consider a campaign donation?
It's an in-kind. Thanks for the. Yeah, that's true.
Is it really?
Well, I mean, if
An
you make
in-kind
if
donation?
you don't pay her personally, so like, look, no, you get to pee on her.
Oh.
Yeah, you all can watch me pee. Oh, you can watch her pee. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can watch her urinate. But she also said she likes to be choked and hit. But if you paid the campaign for the privilege of watching her urinate, that would be a donation that have to be reported. If you pay her personally, that's her profession. So that's her personal household
so
income.
fun.
Yeah.
Great. I love America.
That won't be that's so it's only right. Maybe, but I mean I tell you her fundraisers.
Oh,
if she does live fundraisers, those are going to be
yeah.
off the hook, huh?
Maybe she'll put her clothes on. Doubt it.
Yeah.
Sex sells. Yeah.
Austin, Texas, Kevin.
I was going to do Matt's game. When showing pictures on social media, Democrats often show pictures of their blank.
It's pretty good. That's what I was getting to. Thanks for the call, Kevin, and a good Eubanks voice too.
Text message.
Should
literally
be a game show host.
Dan and Amy literally pissing your money away. Golden showers.
Who are we to judge? Actually, it's an interesting idea. I would pay to be able to urinate on some politicians. That's not the same thing, though?
No.
Deborah in Arlington Heights.
Good morning. I think you weren't getting very many responses because sane people have left the planet, and I'm really out too. I just can't take it anymore. Just when I think I've heard it all, the next day rolls around, and that.
And we introduce you to Susanna Gibson. Yeah, that's where it's at, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hey all, Jim Carr here. I am the owner of Car Machine and Tool in Elk Grove Village and loyal customer of Signature Bank. As a second-generation owner, I knew I had to shift from operating as an old-school machine shop to what I can proudly say is now one of the fastest-growing aerospace manufacturing facilities in the region. Signature Bank was there every step of the way through our expansion efforts, including financing our new state-of-the-art facility. Their valuable industry expertise and constant communication throughout the construction process made our vision possible. Many thanks to Signature Bank for supporting Car Machine and Tool. You set the bar high for other banks.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Guys, a lot of people talking about testosterone, but do your homework and be sure to visit a provider you can trust. Or go to Chatterbait and talk to Susanna Gibson.
I mean, if you still have problems after today's show, then you might want to pay attention to Dan's live reading.
Yeah. Trust my friend. I trust my friends at Low T Center. I'm not going to Susanna Gibson and her husband and that whole den of iniquity. Chatterbait. I've got my levels checked at Low T Center the past 8 years. Low T Center, they make it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get your results back in about 25 minutes. If you've been feeling tired, grumpy, notice weight gain, loss of muscle mass, all could be signs of low testosterone levels. Low T Center is not your typical doctor's office where you have a long wait. It's concierge medicine exclusively for men. They have affordable and convenient options for treatment, including physician-monitored self-inject treatments that ship directly to you each month, so there's no need to drive to the center for weekly visits. And right now, Low T Center is only $25 to get your T-level tested with the results back in about 25 minutes. So what are you waiting for? Log on now to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Tell them Dan Prof sent you when you do. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam, and Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
All right. Does your business have problems that need fixing? Whether you need to change your financial picture, strengthen your leadership team, or help with IT management, Turnkey has solutions. Make Turnkey your small business partner and get ready to streamline success. Inflation and economic downturn don't have to impact your business with the right partner. And now until the end of this month, September 30th, Turnkey is offering the first and last month of services at no cost. That's right. Sign on with Turnkey for any of their IT or business solutions, and your first and last months are free. You will save hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You know, with decades of C-suite experience from their consulting team to over 25 years of managed IT services, Turnkey knows small business. They know how to reduce your costs, grow new revenue streams, and without having to hire an on-site professional. There's still time to make an impact the second half of this year, so let Turnkey show you how. Turnkey is Chicago's small business champion. Visit turnkey.pro and start your conversation today. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I feel better. I look better. I have more energy, everything. And I'm 60 years old.
Oh my gosh, you need to share every bit of the success. I'm in love with them, and I'm going to keep on taking them until the end of time because my body clearly is doing something with Balance of Nature. I mean, my skin looks good, and I've got energy, and I walk, talk fast, and you can see that I'm up with these fruit and vegetables.
Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month. Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Sadia Khan is a relationship expert, and she just got a good riff on what feminism has glamorized over the last 60 years. Things like Susanna Gibson. Take a listen.
The rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. If you want to be in with it, every poor choice is glamorized, and every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. And so what will happen is they are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project. And so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I. And unfortunately, we've got an online market that caters to that wounded woman, that caters to that entitled woman, and caters to that narcissistic woman.
I'd say she stuck the landing there. Susanna Gibson, Exhibit A.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Raj Shah, Rick Borak from SC Wealth Advisors, host of Unleash Your Wealth, Saturdays, 7 a.m. on these airwaves, 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on these airwaves. They'll be joining us at 8:38.
But now we're going to join Mike Scott in the newsroom. Seems they caught the Pennsylvania killer.
They did. Daniel Cavalcante is behind bars at this hour. Arrested this morning. Cavalcante had been on the run for nearly 2 weeks after he busted out of prison in Chester County, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia. He was serving a life sentence for the murder of his former girlfriend. Inflation was up slightly last month. Data out today from the Labor Department shows the CPI, Consumer Price Index, went up 0.6% in August. It is the biggest monthly increase this year. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says there will be an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. New York Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik explains to Fox what the inquiry will enable House Republicans to do.
It ensures that Congress is Department of Justice are going to fight this tooth and nail because they don't want the truth and the facts to come out to the American people. But the impeachment inquiry gives us the most power constitutionally in court.
The White House sent out a memo to the media this morning calling on them to increase their scrutiny of House Republicans for opening that impeachment inquiry, quote, based on lies, end quote. Fallen Chicago fire lieutenant will be laid to rest today. The funeral for Lieutenant Kevin Ward will be held at the Fourth Presbyterian Church in Chicago. 2 men stabbed multiple times, one fatally on the city's northwest side. Stabbing happened overnight around 11 p.m. in the 3000 block of North Elston Avenue. Chicago sports. Cubs gave up a pair of late runs and a 6-4 loss to the Rockies at Coors Field, while the White Sox split their doubleheader with the Royals at Guaranteed Rate. 8:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
If you listen to the mainstream media and the Democrats, you'd think it was a sin to be black and conservative. Well, John Anthony blows up that perception every week on Black and Right. Join John this Saturday afternoon at 4 when he pushes back against the left and its regressive, progressive agenda that tries to dictate how people should think or feel about politics. Listen to Black and Right this Saturday afternoon at 4, right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Men.
And women.
It's sometimes hard to talk about, but it takes a real toll on your life. Pelvic floor issues. What is that?
Pelvic pain, rectal pain, pain with intimacy, pelvic organ prolapse, painful or loss of bladder or bowel control, overactive or underactive bladder, and constipation.
Good news. Cotorinos Physical Therapy pioneered many of the physical therapy approaches to drastically change the problems you are dealing with without drugs. Strategies to fix the problem. It's time to make the call and have a conversation.
630-620-0232. Don't feel like there's nothing you can do, because there is.
Pelvic floor issues can affect your sleep, your activities, and your life. Cotorinos Physical Therapy has been helping people for over 46 years. It's their specialty.
They simply know more about it. They successfully treat men and women of all ages, and they can help you too. Call and ask about your issues.
Cotorinos Physical Therapy, 630-620-0232. Go to pelvictreatment.com.
Pelvictreatment.com. 3 Chicagoland locations.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I feel better. I look better. I have more energy, everything. And I'm 60 years old.
Oh my gosh, you need to share every bit of the success. I'm in love with them, and I'm going to keep on taking them until the end of time, because my body clearly is doing something with Balance of Nature. I mean, my skin looks good, and I've got energy, and I walk, talk fast, and you can see that I'm up with these fruit and vegetables.
Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month. Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, folks. Dennis Prager here. You've probably been hearing my colleagues and me talking about investing with YRefi for a while now. You may have some questions, so let's review. It's true. You can earn up to a 10.25% fixed rate of return that is not correlated to the stock market or the Fed. You can turn your income on or off, compound it, whatever you choose, and there are absolutely no fees. There is no attack on principle if you ever need your money back, and you'll get your monthly statement with no surprises. Just go to investyrefi.com. That's invest, the letter Y, then refi, REFY.com. Or call 888-YREFI-24. Folks, this is a solid investment that actually helps people. Just go to investyrefi.com or call 888-YREFI-24 and tell them Dennis Prager sent you.
Weaving its way through the heart of the Holy Land is a well-worn path that once felt the footsteps of our biblical faith heroes, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, King David, and Jesus. Join David Friedman and Mike Pompeo for a sacred journey of hope along Route 60, the biblical highway. It's a close-up look at the land of the Bible as you've never seen it. In theaters September 18th and 19th, it's Route 60, the biblical highway. Get tickets now at route60.movie. That's route60.movie.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Catholic Cemeteries of Chicago. Ensure your legacy lives on. Set your final wishes in place. Visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org.
8:39, let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time is a service of Staples stores. Staples has big savings on everything for school or the office. Save on school essentials like notebooks, pens, and crayons in stock, backed by the Staples Price Match Guarantee. Visit staples.com/price match for details. School on, save on at Staples. For our friends in Warrenville, accident deal in Winfield Road, Hinsdale, Grant and Hinsdale Avenue, an accident. Elmhurst, North Avenue, and the Ike report of an accident. And downtown Michigan Avenue, north and southbound between Chicago Avenue and Oak Street, is entirely shut down. You cannot get through. It is all due to the procession that is moving through Michigan Avenue northbound right now for the firefighter funeral that will take place at 4th Presbyterian Church. And by the way, Michigan Avenue will be blocked until 2 p.m. this afternoon. Toll roads quickly. Reagan is jammed solid between Route 83 and the Tri-State. The Veterans solid northbound between North Avenue and I-290. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Clouds and sun in your forecast, but we will have an afternoon shower kicking in. High 68. Stars out tonight, low 54, 59 degrees officially at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. All right, talking really golf and high schools with Raj Shah and Rick Borick, but we'll try to get into some issues of finance too. So, by the way, I guess I should mention they're SC Wealth Advisors, Raj Shah, Rick Borick, hosts of Unleash Your Wealth, which airs Saturdays on these airwaves, AM 560, 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. They've been on the air for 10 years, so they've been providing reliable financial advice and counsel for a decade on our airwaves.
Yeah, so we're celebrating. It's a huge milestone. 10 years. Congratulations.
We haven't even been on the air together for 10 years.
Yeah, we.
No.
No.
This
when's our anniversary, Dan? And what am I getting?
I think this is our 10th year, so we have not completed 10 years.
Okay, show offs.
I think that's
Congratulations.
No. Wait.
Oh, see, now he's doing the math.
2000. Yeah, it won't be until like 2025. I think that will be our officially completed 10th year. We're actually in our 9th year.
Oh,
just seems like longer. Anyway, all right. So Raj and Rick. So here's what I want to talk about golf and high schools too. But let's start with a wealth question so we don't lose our listeners. It seems to me you've got like two camps right now when it comes to the markets. You've got the camp that says the crash is coming because just all the fundamentals suggest that the market right now is inexplicable based on where the fundamentals are of the economy. And then you've got people say, well, you've got the government backstop. So whether it's bailing out banks or printing funny money or distributing checks, you've got the government backstop. So Jay Powell is going to keep propping up the market. And so you should be in the market because you rely on the government to be that backstop, or you shouldn't be because you rely on fundamentals. So which is it, or is it a combination of the two? Or is it about distributing where you invest?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing, Dan, is that right now the inflation is hot. So Powell's been raising the interest rates. Right. And so when they're raising the interest rates, it actually causes a lot of people to flee from the stock market. And so ultimately, the problem is, we've talked about this on Unleash Your Wealth literally every Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m., talking about people are continuously trying to time the market, Rick. And I mean, that is a cardinal sin 101. Should I get in? Should I get out? What's the best time? Well, we know very well last year, the S&P 500, the market was down roughly 18 to 20%, including dividends. And now all of a sudden we had a run back this year. All of a sudden it just bounced back significantly, and I could guarantee,
in spite of the rate hikes, this is what perplexes people.
Well, then why is it
and
happening?
No one predicted that. No one knew that the market's going to come back, and everyone continuously tries to play this prediction game. But Rick, we know it's not timing the market; it's time in the market.
It's always time in the market, and in reality, market timing never works because you got to do two things right. You got to know when to sell, and you got to sell before it goes down, and then you got to get in when there's blood in the streets. It's really hard for most people to do. It's counterintuitive to human nature. So in reality, you have to find ways to participate in the market. And like you were saying, Dan, with the funny money, that does prop up the market, but it comes at a cost. Inflation hurts everyone, right? So what happens is that we specialize in a lot of protection strategies where people can participate on the market upside, but they can also have a level of protection in the portfolios.
Right. So then there's the diversification issue, which, of course, people, I think certainly our listeners are sophisticated enough to understand. But you're right, too. And it's sort of like I was talking to my friend about real estate in Naples, trying to get him to buy a house down in Naples. And he's like, the prices are so high, I'm waiting for them to come off a little bit. Well, they're not going to come off.
That's like market timing.
Yeah, it's sort of the same thing. It's like, I'm just waiting for one more crash before I get in. Well, you may miss a 20% rally like we've seen this year. That's sort of the point. So then how do you guys look? I mean, I guess it mainly depends on where you are too in terms of your earning life, and right. I mean, you probably have a different investment strategy for somebody who's 25 as opposed to 55.
Yeah, for sure. In other words, a 25-year-old can take that ride up and down because they're not going to need the money for 40 years, or if the government keeps us working maybe 45 years, right? Till you're 70. But if you're closer to 55, 60, 65, you need to take a different approach.
Yeah, I mean, it's accepting market volatility at a younger age. It's okay because the money is not earmarked to take that money and take distributions for retirement until a later time in life. However, if you're approaching retirement, the game changes. The law of averages go out of the door because ultimately you're playing with a sequence of returns which means that, hey, you know what? Market went down, but I'm not contributing to my 401k any longer. I have to start taking money out. So in the end, you got to look to places where I can get that level of protection. And yeah, I know, Dan, you've talked about and mentioned about having diversification, which is, the free ride to investing, but with the rising interest rate environment, there's different ways now to protect your money. And obviously there's attractive yields out there with 1-year treasuries above 5%. You can look to structured notes where you can get short-term 12 to 24 months and get a principal protection and still participate in the stock market. And then, there's other ways that you can create a floor for your investment portfolio.
Yeah, in other words, you can literally get guarantees. So a lot of people have the FOMO this year. They got the fear of missing out because the market's already ran back 15 or 20%. And now they say, well, if I get in now, it's going to go back down because I'm the wrong way Corrigan of life. It always goes against me. There's some investors have that mindset. So you need to invest with confidence. And a way to do that is to structure large parts of your portfolio if you're at retirement ages where you do not take downside market risk. That's a huge benefit for retirees.
So a young man like me can have all his money tied up in Ethereum, whereas an old lady like Amy should be getting that 5.25% in the money
Well,
market.
we might have to help you with the Ethereum. I think we don't know to take that much risk. You know?
So what does our economy look like if President Biden is reelected? Because I know a lot of people are hoping, obviously, that doesn't happen for financial reasons.
Well, we know right now with when you don't want to go too much into the politics, but we know when it comes to from a Democratic side, there's a lot more regulation historically. And when there's regulation, business ultimately kind of slows down, right? So that's where ultimately it's kind of timing out. We see this all the time. We're like, whoa, if Trump gets in office, I'm going to see and wait to invest my money, and if Biden gets in, I'm gonna wait and see. Well, again, it goes back to market timing, and you want to invest and have a long-term vision, and ultimately not trying to time it out and sit and keep your money in the mattress, because we know cost of living, everyone's seeing right now at the grocery store. They're seeing it at the gas pump, just getting a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, and why are those rates high right now, those 5% yields? Is because inflation is still running hot, Rick.
Well, yeah, and I think if there is a second term for Mr. Biden, literally it's going to mean that that's the time when he's no longer going to have to run for re-election, that he goes for large tax increases. We got $33 trillion of debt, and when are you going to do that and pass those big tax rate hikes is when you no longer have to run for a re-election.
So what are alternatives to cash or those CDs generating 5%?
Well,
right
like
now?
Raj says,
like safe alternative if you're sort of mid or later in your working career.
Yeah, well, like when you look at a structured note, you can get literally a principal protected structured note where your principal is guaranteed at the end of 12 or 15 or 24 months, and you'll still participate to a certain extent on the upside in the equity market, up to say 12 or 13%, which is 2.5 times the potential upside of a 1-year CD or a 1-year Treasury right now.
And so, right now, when people are coming to you, like, what is the distribution? I want to do some things that have more risk. I want to invest a little bit money in crypto or a little bit money in this private equity concern my friend's running. But, I also want to protect the substance of my portfolio.
We work as a fiduciary advisor. We're a registered investment advisor, so which really gives us the true independence, and we don't have any particular allegiance to any particular firm, so we can actually genuinely work for the client and do what's in their best interest. But we have clients that come and say, well, I want to have a little crypto and I want to have this. And we say, you know what? If you want to carve that part out for your portfolio, for your alternative investments, that's fine. We don't take the liability on that part of it. What we do is we craft and create a portfolio that's a blended strategy. There is no all or none where you have to say, I need to take a lot of risk here and I need to protect all of my money here. It's creating a blended strategy and asking, if you have $1 million, how much of this money do you want to protect that you could generate that contractual guaranteed income to create that floor for the rest of your life in retirement? And the other part of the portfolio is having those equity returns, because let's face it, you need to be invested in equities to outpace inflation, because what if inflation's running hot for the next 10 years? We run those types of scenarios where if you retire in a high inflationary market, what if you retire in a flat stock market? Rick, we talk about
we model all the what ifs. What if Social Security gets cut by 20% in 2033?
Yeah, sure.
And then we look at that and we give a percentage value, and we say, well, here's your probability of success. And when we can get that number up above 75, 80, 90%, we feel good about it. But if you're sitting down here at 30, 35, 40% probability of succeeding, that means it's a coin flip whether you're going to run out of money, and we think that's unacceptable.
Yeah, that's that like proper risk assessment.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's
all right.
key.
So you two have been together 10 years.
Oh.
How did you meet?
Well, we've actually been together for we're a combined experience of 53 years. I've been in the business for 22 years. And in fact, I got into the business I always remember because 9/11. I got into the business a month after, right? I was already in the business for a month. And Rick, you've been in the business for more than
34 years, yeah.
34 years.
So
we've
been
working together for 20 years.
Okay. And we started the firm back in basically after 2015, and you were 2013.
Yeah. So we've been doing this for a long time. We've worked at the Fortune 500, and then we spun off, and knowing that that's where we generated a lot of experience, but we know now going forward that we need to have our own firm, independent registered advisor, fiduciary. So, ultimately that's what clients are looking for, that you have the full plethora of options so that you can genuinely create a portfolio and say, hey, I got this great, the best flavor of the month. That's not how it works. You have to structure a portfolio so you can grab all the options everywhere and really construct and blend out a portfolio that way.
Raj went to Wheaton Central, where I would have gone if I was forced to go to government school.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I wasn't. So Wheaton guy, Wheaton Central, 14 handicap, and people want to know these things about their advisors. They need to know. You need full disclosure here.
Well, what about Rick?
14 index.
Well, I graduated before time began. No, I graduated in Wheaton Warrenville. So I was a Wheaton fellow.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
But
a lot of DuPage County going on in here. I get the hives.
But Rick's wife won't let him play golf.
Not any longer, no.
Why?
Yeah.
It's our day. Sunday became our day.
Sunday's your day, but where's she on your day?
We don't golf for sure together, but no, it's as long as I'm around the house, it's fine.
Oh, it's just so you keep an eye on you. Might say why Dan Proft is single. Yeah. All right, so we're talking Raj Shah, Rick Borick, SC Wealth Advisors. They provide a wide suite of financial services, wealth management, financial planning, retirement planning, Social Security planning, Roth IRA conversion, 401k, 457B, 403B rollovers, estate planning, fixed index annuities, active portfolio management, as they were describing. And you can listen to them on our airwaves Saturdays at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Saturdays. 10 years they've been on the air. Unleash Your Wealth is the show. Raj Shah, Rick Bork, thanks for joining us. Appreciate
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank
you can also go to
Website.
scwealthadvisors.com. There's a live chat feature, and obviously you can always give us a call on our 24-hour number at 312-345-5494.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Rick here from Forever Remodeling. You probably heard me talk about how our unique design-build process removes the normal problems of hiring a design and construction company separately. But just don't take my word for it. Listen to these customer reviews. Kelly W. says, from consultation to design to construction, my remodel flowed seamlessly. Adity J says, we were thrilled to have a full-service remodeling firm take all the guesswork out of our project. And Caesar V says, Forever Remodeling made what could have been a very stressful project extremely easy for us. They finished on time and did amazing work. Kitchens, bathrooms, basements, additions, whole house remodeling, whatever you need, our start-to-finish process delivers stunning results without the hassles, headaches, and stress. For a free consultation, call Forever Remodeling at 847-809-3355 or visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word SHELTER to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be due to low testosterone. Schedule your health assessment with my friends at Low T Center. They now offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for $155 a month, cash pay, or covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near Low T Center, or you just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com to book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Now is the best time to drive home in your next Mazda. During the Season of Discovery sales event, you'll get the biggest savings on a new or pre-owned Mazda. And what you see is what you pay. With limited time sales going on right now, there's no better time to buy at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Lease a 2023 Mazda CX-30 for $249 per month or a 2023 Mazda CX-5 for $399 a month for 36 months with approved credit through Mazda Capital Services for qualified buyers. Just add license, title, tax, and $324.24 doc fee. Plus, stop in today and ask about the all-new 2024 Mazda CX-90. And to keep your Mazda running great all year round, schedule your next service appointment right online at WilkinsMazdaCars.com. Wilkins Mazda, conveniently located in Elmhurst off of York Road and 290, just minutes from Oak Brook downtown and Schaumburg. Experience the next level of excellence at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Visit WilkinsMazdaCars.com. See dealer for details.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I feel better. I look better. I have more energy, everything. And I'm 60 years old.
Oh my gosh, you need to share every bit of the success. I'm in love with them, and I'm going to keep on taking them until the end of time because my body clearly is doing something with Balance of Nature. I mean, my skin looks good, and I've got energy, and I walk, talk fast, and you can see that I'm up with these fruit and vegetables.
Happy National Fruits and Veggies Month. Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer today to receive $35 off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Where did the time go? Thanks so much to Justin Kosick and Quinn McCarthy. Back here bright and early at 5 a.m. It is now 9 a.m. WIND Chicago.
This is a Fox News alert. An escaped killer caught. I'm Dave Anthony.